Wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag-off at a Pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike, you know what? I would. I'm listening to you peck away over there. You ought to kill the sound too through the
I
song,
usually do. Oh, that was my fault.
because I would rather see you than to actually hear you while the music is going. All I hear is you pecking away the whole time. I thought,
Usually I turn it off and then I always forget to turn it back on and you yell at me. It's a
yeah,
whole thing. It's all
yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. That's right. This is episode 929. Glad to see everybody back today. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Mike, Team USA. They dropped the championship game to Venezuela 3-2. Looks like they were down 2-0. Bryce Harper came back and tied it up late in the game. In Venezuela, they scored in the ninth inning to win the game, to win the World Baseball Championship tournament, Mike. Venezuela. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not so upset about these kind of things because at the end of the day, it's those Central America and South America and those teams like that, boy, they like their baseball. You know what I mean? Like
they love it, man.
they call it our national pastime, which it is. It's our national pastime. However, the people in Central and South America and all those little islands, that's all they do. That's their ticket. A lot of people's ticket out of town. And at the end of the day, losing to a team from Venezuela certainly doesn't have any effect on me. Good for them. And here's another thing, Mike. Our teams always seem to make it to the finals anyway. Doesn't matter what sport it is, whether it's curling or baseball or basketball, hockey. Should we just be happy that our teams are always competitive and at the top of the game? And again, taking a loss to Venezuela, nothing to get upset over.
We should have won it, boys. We should have won. That's all there is to it. I'm disappointed. How the hell? Like we played so stiff out there. All the other teams were out there just having fun, man. Playing baseball, playing sports the way it's meant to be played, and we're up there all stiff and rigid. Our manager almost screwed us out of advancing in because he didn't understand all the format rules and stuff. I was disappointed. I was wanting them to win. I wanted Paul Skeens to actually win something as a professional.
Well, I think that's coming. Just give it due time. But the baseball, listen to this. It had no Pirates really involved. So again, it's just tier two of reasons why this doesn't bother me. If it was a Paul Skeens throw or a Bednar or even Mason Miller. But you know what? It wasn't. It wasn't any of our Yinzers. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. They again made it to the championship game. And many other teams, like the Dominican Republic, that team probably could have been there and should have been there. And at the end of the day, the U.S. made it there. Only lost by a run in the last inning of the game. So I'm not that upset. Good for them. Congratulations. You would love to see them win it all, but at the end of the day, you can't win them all. Good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Wherever you may be coming from, it may be morning, it may be afternoon. Who knows? It may be even the evening in some cases. But I do want to say welcome back. It is Hump Day, everybody.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
A lot of stuff going on here on the show today, Mike. I do want to give a big thanks to our new addition, RB, coming on yesterday, really lifting the show up, and of course his insight on the draft and everything college coming up. I really, really value his position, Mike, because again, at the end of the day, it's a lot of things to get into and a lot of things to know year after year. It's a blank slate basically every year. You have to learn all these new college players and every statistic about them. So again, very grateful for the work that RB and Chop does. I did get an update on Chop this morning. He's been sick, and remember he was sick last week.
Yeah,
he's getting to that point where he's actually gonna have to go to a doctor. And for a man to admit that they might have to go to a doctor,
yeah, it's like
he's gotta be pretty sick.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to Chop, man. Yeah. You want a dude to go? Yeah, I think I should go to the doctors. That's not a good sign.
We don't do that. It takes almost near death to get a man to the doctors for the most part. And Chopper, we do wish you the best. He's chomping at the bit. Chomping at the bit to get back at it. He really is. He can't wait to be here with the rest of us. And again, wishes to Chopper as he continues to try to get better. So that is that. There's only 36 days to the NFL draft, Mike, and I guess just sticking with the theme, we could call it Jerome Bettis amount of days. There's bus amount of days left of the draft. When we come back next week, Mike, and we're like this time next week, we're going to be at 20 something.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's gonna be here quick, and I can't wait, man, because I'm chopping at the bit to for the draft to get here, man. I'm just excited, man. We have 12 picks. We're not going to use them all. What are we going to do? What's we're calling it? What are they going to pull? I can't wait to find out.
I'm hearing that they are using them to get more stalls actually installed in their locker rooms.
You know what? Hey, hustlers got to hustle.
That's it, man. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I want to say welcome to the show. Let's say hi to everybody. Good morning on the board. Good afternoon on the board, guys. Gang. Jamal, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Jamal first on the board today. I'd like to say welcome, sir. Also, Just Learning. He says, first go Steelers. My man, how you doing? Always great seeing Just Learning on the terrible board. Tortilla, all the way from Sacramento, California, says, what's up? Jamal, he says, gang, had to hit both channels up. Thank you. We appreciate that. Jamal, my man. Tyrone says JPJ is the go. But Mike, I dispute this all the time.
Yes,
why?
Yes.
Why do I dispute this all the time?
Because Tyrone is the GOAT.
Tyrone is the GOAT, baby. Welcome to the show, Tyrone. Always great to see you on the terrible board. RB, my man, he says
What
this.
up?
He says, I seriously hope we don't waste an early pick on Boston. Okay, continued into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
He's very limited, a low-end wide receiver 2 to a mid-tier 3 at best, not worth a 1 or a 2. I do know that I think that he's going to be in town here today or tomorrow for a visit. If I'm remembering right, good insight though. We'll certainly keep that in mind. RB Tortilla says struck. Let me go back to what he said before. I don't know what struck is referring to, but we're gonna move on. Yinzer Joe says, "What's up, Yinzer? What's up, Yinzer Joe?" Always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the terrible board. Steeler Freak John, my man.
What up?
Big John, stud.
Middle name?
Mud, baby. What's up, Big John? Always great to see Big John on the terrible board. I would like to discuss a new idea. Maybe Howard should start, John is saying. All right, we'd love to hear more.
Whoa. That's breaking. That's thinking outside the box.
And then I do want to also grab Chad. I do want to say good afternoon to Chad Schrader. He says, "What's up, Ryan and Mike? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go, baby. That's right. All day, every day. Here we go, Steelers." Tortilla says, "Damn, my comment did not load." So maybe that was what the struck was referring to. The struck has the asterisk next to it to refer to the mistake possibly made. And the original didn't even come through. So we got the revised mistake, but nothing else. Hey, we'll get it. It's just Wednesday, guys. It is hump day, just in case anybody forgot. We will remind you by this.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
And you know what? It's not my favorite part to just hear the song. It's the favorite part to see Mike start humping the air every time that we do hit that sound. I giggle inside every time I see it. I got to be honest with you.
It's like I'm overcome with the Holy Spirit or something.
It's something. Let's go to RB here. He says, "Just curious if you watched Howard outside of the highlights. He doesn't throw well on the run. He can't make off platform throws, and he's very robotic in his mechanics or it's really ugly if not." And you know what? My only recollection, and again, I remember the whole championship run, and my thing was this, because that was the year that Penn State was winning some games in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I remember about Howard was a couple key mistakes. If I'm remembering right again, and again, I could be wrong, so do correct me. But in the season, they lost a game to Oregon, maybe, and there was a mistake that was made at the end of the game by Will Howard that costed the Ohio State Buckeyes the game, and they should have won it. It was a huge game, and I don't remember what it was. I think he slid or something when there was no time on the clock, or there was something.
Yeah, something along those lines, like a play in the middle of the field when you had to like get out of bounds.
Very time sensitive play, and it was near the end, and it was a big play, and it was in a big game, and they took the L in that game. So I don't have extensive memory on a lot of things he did. I mean, I could assume that he threw a lot of long bombs to wide receivers, because that's what they do in Ohio State, and they win a lot of football games that way. But again, the little memory I do have of Will Howard was that. So again, I don't recall people jumping up and down about the guy overall. It was more of an Ohio State thing than it was a Will Howard thing when the national championship was won. Almost as a year after that, Mike, when Michigan did it, and J.J. McCarthy, it's like I have to have J.J. McCarthy because he won a national championship. But again, if you know anything about that team and how that played out, you wouldn't rush out to grab J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota. So,
talk about a franchise center backer.
Yeah.
My God.
And Mike, they're one of them franchises that are one step forward, two steps back, because they do always have good things happen to them, but they always seem to mess it up. And
they resurrected oh my God, Carson Beck. What's his name? The guy who just went to Seattle on Sam Darnold. They resurrect Sam Darnold's career, and you see how well he fit in there with Jordan Addison and Jetta. We're gonna let him go because we got JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
like you said, one step forward. That's like might have been like one step forward, 4 steps back.
That's the kind of things that teams like the Vikings do, and that's why they are continuing to do the things that they do year after year, decade after decade. Mike, never a Super Bowl win. We all know that. 0-4. The Minnesota Vikings when it comes to Super Bowls. Let's get on the board. I want to stay on it nice and early, Mike. We do have a lot of things to get into today, so stay sharp. Lots to get into. Let me go right around, somewhere around here.
Ryan's lost.
I think I'm going to go right here. Joe says Denzel Boston did even run on Washington's pro day. Didn't. Okay, I guess you're saying taking advice from his age and a bad idea. Just Learning says on depth charts, Mason destroyer over Howard, and it doesn't surprise me because again at this point Howard has literally done nothing to put him ahead of Mason at the end of the day. As I said, once they get moving and start playing and camp comes around and preseason comes around, maybe that'll change. But at this point, Mason Rudolph literally have never taken a snap in the NFL. So for that reason, I would think the guy that has should be in front of him by default until at least the other guy earns a little bit of move up the ladder, Mike.
Yeah. Like, give me some. I want to see what Howard just in the preseason, see what he got. Because like you said, he has yet to take a snap. Yeah, I just want to see if there's anything there. If there is, you move on with him or move forward with him. If not, you find out his role on the team. Go from there.
I do want to say, Tortilla says, you know me too well. Referring back to the messages, of course, Tyrone says Howard can learn and get absolutely. And that's the one thing that kind of irritates me about everyone with the well, he's a 6th round. Why'd you take him? If there's no chance of the guy even getting an opportunity, I don't care if you take him in the 2nd round, the 6th round, the 45th round. I mean, the guy has to get an opportunity, and he might play better than a 6th rounder. And against Shador Sanders, listen, he didn't do great, but he's a Pro Bowler. That means something apparently. So again, this guy that was drafted in whatever round he was drafted in, the 6th or whatever it was, 5th, he ended up being a Pro Bowler. Again, you know what that's worth, but at the end of the day, be what it be. And again, we have to see the kid. You can't just because if we're just going to say he's a 6th rounder, he can't be him. Why waste a draft pick? We could have used that somewhere else to something of value to us. So again, at the end of the day, I can't wait to see Howard this summer. It's going to be fun. Even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, it's just going to be fun to get that opportunity to finally get to see what Will Howard has. Let's see if he has that X factor, that it factor. There's some quarterbacks you can see it in their eyes when they step out on the field. They're the commander. They see things, they know things. And again, you watch for all that when you're trying to analyze. At least I do when I'm trying to analyze a quarterback. So we'll learn all that this summer, Mike. And again, you can tell pretty early if somebody has something special. Not only they might not have great success early, but again, some people, they just have it factors about them. And if you could pick those out, you get a pretty good idea who's going to be the next guy up.
Yeah, you can see like if right away how comfortable are they running the huddle? How comfortable are they just taking that snap under center in the NFL environment? So much different than college, because now you're going up literally against the best of the best. College, all that talent spread out. And then, okay, how comfortable are they in the pocket? And that's the key thing right there. Because if you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not comfortable in the middle of an NFL pocket, you're going to shit the bed. So that's huge right there, that confidence in there. And that can mask some shortcomings, because you can scheme and game plan around someone's shortcomings, tailor the offense towards them. So if Will Howard can do that, and then okay, let's see how comfortable he is in the pocket, and then go from there. What do we need to hide, and what can we enhance of his talent? And that's what we haven't had a chance yet to see. So that's why these 3 preseason games are going to be huge for Will Howard this year.
I agree. I've been saying it all along, and I wish that he would have had opportunities, and unfortunately he has not. Getting to see him this summer is going to be big, and again, he will probably, barring another injury, should be the Skylar Thompson this year in the sense of time played. He's probably going to get most of the reps throughout preseason. Yeah. And again, we don't know, because Mike McCarthy has never been here before. We never seen one of his preseasons. But at the end of the day, it seems to make sense. And being that McCarthy is an offensive guy, a quarterback whisperer, if you will, Mike, I think we're going to definitely see the man a little bit this summer. I can't wait. Again, I think a lot of people's curious, because again, if he comes out and the thing is, he can come out and he can just stink it up. At the end of the day, we don't know.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah, and we kind of need to know, what we have in him. So the coaching staffs too, there's difference from practice to preseason games to actual NFL games, and this coaching staff really hasn't even seen him practice, so they got to see that. Then they got to see him in the preseason games, then to judge, okay, where do we want him to use him, or if at all, in these regular season games.
I couldn't agree more. Let's go to Somber. What's up, Somber? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. He said, when was the last time anybody's seen him throw? That's a good question. I couldn't answer it. I can't answer it. Tyrone says that playoff run Howard was cooking. And that's what I'm saying. I recall the run. I recall Ohio State. I remember it. Again, I just don't remember people going on and on about the quarterback. I just assumed that this guy that we're getting, he just won the national championship. All right, let's see what he got. But Mike, I don't.
He wasn't really talked about, it felt like, in draft stock until like that playoff run. Then everyone got all excited because he won the playoffs, won the championship, and then everyone was like, "Oh my God, teams got to go out and get this guy." And then the NFL kind of showed it might have been more or less the talent around him, and kind of got drafted where he should have been, in a potential backup, potential low end starter type range. And for right now, without having seen him, that's what you have to assume. That's what a lot of people inside the NFL, and probably maybe inside the Steelers organization, view him as, is a backup to low-level starter. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. If I can get my long-term backup in the 6th-round pick, I'm fine with that. Fuck yeah, let's roll.
Jen says, hey, everybody. Always great to see Jen on the
Jen.
table board. As always, great to see. Hope things are going well for you in Wisconsin. Tyrone says this. Yeah, and next time he played, Oregon blew them out of the water. Yeah, that's if I'm remembering right. And again, I'm not an Ohio State guy. I don't follow them, but it seems to me that was the only 2 losses they had that year. One was Oregon in regular season, and one was Oregon in the championship. And I could be way off, but if my memory serves me right, that was what happened that particular year. Tortilla says Will Howard was just letting everyone know he only loses when he wants to. Let's go to John. Steal the Freak says this Tebow won a championship too. It doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything in the NFL. I think he won back-to-back. He won Heisman. He did all kind of crazy things. One of the best ever college players. I think he's in the top 10. Let's do Scoot up here. RB says a trait like a video game. A trait like a video game. RB follows it up by saying Boston was projected a 4.6 guy. You don't run unless you're hurt, which he's not, or you're going to run slower than your projection. If you're running at a 4.7 at 205, that is definitely not good.
No, that's that is almost slow as molasses, especially for a receiver.
Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says Oregon's defense was as close to the NFL as it gets, and Howard faltered. Imagine his play against the real NFL team. He's not ready. He's still basically a rookie. And again, there's always that big leap, too. No matter who the best defenses in college are, everybody's going to be a lot faster and stronger and bigger on that next level. Linemen could move like safeties once you get to the NFL. And it's crazy, guys. It's such a big jump. And that's why only the best of the best do it. That's why football is great. It's one of the best, my opinion, the best sports out there.
You can take even before the NIL deals when you would have like those Alabama defenses or those Georgia defenses that were killing everyone. Only a handful of those guys were going pro, and that's what you had to go against in college. Now you have to go against 11 guys that were that good at every single position. So that's a huge leap from college approach, especially now with quarterbacks, how we always talk about like they're not developed and trained the way they used to be in the past. So it's might take even longer for some of these guys to catch on.
I did miss RB. I apologize. I don't know what happened. He says, I know NFL coaching is good. It's not the touch of Jesus Christ. You don't play quarterback for 13 years and not be able to make a platform throw in 6 months of NFL coaching is going to magically unlock. I see like a video game. Gotcha on that one. Let's go to Just Learning. He says, put Howard at tight end. Yinzer Joe says, I heard he got his knee scoped. I don't know. Possibly. Tyrone says, facts. Yinzer Joe, he's cooked them. Game was over by the first quarter. Jamal says, got both channels running at the same time. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. Summer says, I guess the last year just didn't happen. He definitely hasn't learned anything useful in a year, under 1 year of best in the league. And that's what I'm saying. We won't know any of these questions and these answers to these questions until August. We'll get our reports and we'll see how he does in 7-on-7s and three reps and sets of everything once camp starts. But again, getting to see him under center in preseason against a team with a different color uniform that's coming for his ass after the snap, that's what I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see how he reacts, how he responds, the look in his eye. There's a lot of the little it factors, of course, the obvious things you're watching for. You're looking for his arm, you're looking for his pocket presence, but also those little, the intangibles too. Certainly keeping an eye on those things because, again, I think you can tell pretty early if a person just doesn't have it or if they do have a chance of having it. So, again, I think this summer football this year, Mike, we're going to learn a lot, not only about our quarterback, but this whole team, especially under a whole entire new coaching staff.
Oh, yeah. It's like I said yesterday, everyone's going to be in the same boat. They don't know how McCarthy runs a training camp. They don't know the offense that they're going to have. Everyone's going to be learning together. And this can be an offseason where guys, who were maybe having trouble gaining playing time, looking like at you, Roman Wilson, to maybe secure a big time role because everyone right now is on the same foot. No one knows anything on this team, how, like I said, how trained, what the offense is going to be. So It's huge, not just for Will Howard, but for Caleb Johnson, for Roman Wilson. Just name a few guys on offense to hammer home find a role on this team, so you don't get cut. You both of those guys were third round picks. Teams are going to give you a chance, but they're not going to give you that much longer. And this might be your final chance to nail down a spot on this team. So I can, go in and hit the ground running.
Let's go with Jen. Jen says, "Let's run it with that. Run it with what we have and see. Stop this old player BS." How did we miss so much? Because again, you always try to stay ahead of the game with the draft, and again, we've always, growing up, we always had guys, the next player up mentality here in Pittsburgh. That just isn't a thing to a degree anymore. I mean, it is in some positions, but there's other positions that we're so far behind the eight ball. It makes you wonder how we even got to that point. I mean, it's multiple years of not handling business, because at the end of the day, that's a lot of holes. And if you are trying to keep up with the game and you're drafting accordingly, how you fall behind this much, I don't know. And it's going to be a whole new team again. Mike, just last year, it was the turnover was 11 of the 22 starters, and this year, how many starters out of that?
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's not been the way things have gone, the next player up mentality, because at the end of the day, we have to run out and save ourselves by drafting or by trading or acquiring somebody who's over age, who has a nice name, but might be able to smooth things over. How long is this going to take, Mike? And are we going to get back to the day whenever you draft smart and everything kind of just starts falling suit? Everybody moves up as it goes. We fell out of that. I don't know when, I don't know where. But again, at the end of the day, I think you're seeing it catch up to us because we're trying to continue to save ourselves by running out and grabbing these players that are 30s, mid 30s, 40s. We are at the total opposite end of the spectrum of how a healthy system would run, I would think.
Yeah, we're slowly getting back to that point, because now we talk about them all the time. What are we going to do with Nick Herbig? What are we going to do with Highsmith Watt? That's where we're at right now. We finally got that position group to where it was in the past, when felt like every 3 years you had a new outside linebacker. Like, who's Jason Gilden? Who the hell's Joey Porter? Who's Chad Brown? Who's this guy? You just had that rotation. That's where we're getting back into that position now, and that's where we had the best depth too in the organization for what you're talking about. It's like always had that guy ready to go. We're getting there in that position, and it's looking like the way Con and Weedle are drafting, we're eventually going to have that here in the next probably year or two in the O lines and D lines. The way they keep investing in those units, I have a feeling like we're going to have someone ready, boom, to come into place to take Cam's position if he ever goes. So there's another position group down. If we do the draft right at corner and safety this year, boom, that position group can have someone next year ready to go. Because Dean deal is more or less a 1-year deal. Ramsey's going to come up in the second year of his 3-year deal, which is more or less a 2-year deal anyway. So I think we're going to be seeing that within the next season or two. Of there's going to be positions where guys are going to be ready to step into these older guys' shoes, and we continue that trend. It's taken us a while, because you have to figure ever since the Terrell Edmond draft up until maybe the Joey Porter draft, this is like it was like a wasteland of missed opportunities. Now finally that Broderick Jones Porter draft, we have guys in there, and those guys right now at the tail end of that shitty draft cycle are getting ready to be key guys in the NFL. Porter's almost an all-pro. Herbig could be one of the best edge rushers in the league. So we had that long of missed drafts, and we're just now finally filling those needs back in and getting ready to have that surplus. So yeah, to answer your question, along with an answer, we're almost there. We're almost back to that position, but we had like a 6-7 year window of this shitty fucking draft, and that's what kills you. Like, you would hit on a guy here and there, but you weren't consistently hitting 2 to 3 guys in every single draft.
And it's crazy because, again, as you said, back in the day with the Jason, I mean, it just seems like whoever was back there was
Yeah.
ready to step up, and we're not anywhere near that, unfortunately. And as I said, Mike, you could look even, at these last few drafts. How far have we really came under the new GM? I don't know. It's still hard to say. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be roughly, another year or so, as you said, as it all starts to come together. And, that's not even guaranteed. So again, we'll wait and we'll see. But again, the draft coming in 36 days right here to Pittsburgh. Mike, this is some news on the draft I was reading this morning. The Steelers, the Steelers not expected. The Steelers not expect. They're expected to come up empty in the 2027 comp picks next year. Mike, how is that going to affect the Steelers if they don't have the advantage of having 1 million comp picks to help them out?
They'll have to use draft capital from the following year's draft if they want to move up, because it felt like this was the year where they were going to have all these comp picks to get their quarterbacks, and the ones who came out did not live up to the billing, and the ones that were supposed to round out the draft class all went back to college. So the plan was to use the picks this year. Now they might trade out of some of those picks to next year, maybe to build some capital. I hope they don't trade down in the first round. Maybe use some of their lower tier picks to pick up lower tier picks next year to soften the blow of trying to move up next year. Because the guys we signed this year, we didn't lose anyone to offset. We let everyone go last year. And this year we were bringing people in. So it's a double-edged sword, man. Do you want to flush out your roster or maybe gamble and get some comp picks? And the owner wants you to be competitive, so you have to. The GM's got to play 2 games at once, remaining competitive and trying to rebuild.
You mean be a really good GM? That's basically what he's being asked to do.
You're trying to. You have to be everything you do has to be perfect to hit that goal.
And that's why I would pay a guy a lot of money to do that job. So again, this is going to prove if he's a good GM. A lot of people say, what a great GM. He's making a lot of moves. But you know what? At the end, the results is what matters. So again, in the big picture, we'll continue to keep our eye on that, Mike, because at the end of the day, if all this leads to nothing, say we're 3 years down the road and kind of still in the same place, still walking, we could then start saying, wow. So again, at the end of the day, he is getting paid a lot of money and, expected rightfully so to be one of the best at his job, just as you would expect anybody paying them a large amount of money. So, Mike, let's hope that could happen. Let's get back on the board, though. There's a lot going on the board. I don't want to get far behind today. Let's go right here to where Tortilla says this. Rodgers probably already taught him how to throw the ball off platform to his running back. Mark Malone, what's up, brother? Always great seeing the great Mark Malone on the terrible board. He says this: we need to get Beck to compete with him if Rodgers retires. Mike, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but I think we're mentioning it. Carson Beck was either due yesterday or today to do a visit with the Steelers. Mike, Carson Beck talking to the Steelers.
Talking to the Steelers, looking down at Westmoreland, looking up at Cleveland while he's trying to talk to Mike McCarthy. And, this is the guy that we want to come in to compete. We don't know where he's looking. I'm just not a big Carson Beck fan. I just don't want anything to do with him. I really don't want any of these quarterbacks in this draft.
We don't know where he's looking, but we know where he usually ends up in the postseason, Mike, and that's usually the championship game. So, again, in town.
Look at this guy.
How can you not want to look at that for the next 5 years?
Okay. He looks like he should be a scrawny left wing playing hockey.
Yeah, he looks
like that's what he does not. No offense to the guy, but he does not look like an.
No, it's offensive. Believe me, Mike. When you look at that face, it's offensive to me. And to you.
But he looks like he should be scoring, a good 35 goals next to Crosby, not slinging the pigskin.
He's grotesque. Look at him.
He just puts. I have no faith when I look at the guy. Even if he gets drafted elsewhere, I'm keeping that. I
don't know if you remember when we were kids, because I was a few years older, but there was a baseball player named Willie McGee, and he was like one of the ugliest baseball players. And that was a joke when we were kids, was how ugly he was, because you got his baseball card and everybody knew he was ugly. But he's almost the modern day Willie McGee. I can only imagine, Mike, if Mark Malone. Mark Malone says that's the face of the franchise for the next 15 years. There you go. Let's get back on the board here. Also, let me scoot down just a little bit. Tyrone says this. He says, somber. I know he's learned from A-Rod. No way. Steeler Freak says, I think it is Howard. I think it's a Howard's tape. Dudes who get paid big money using analytics assess a quarterback's ability. All 32 teams saw the same thing and waited 6 rounds for a reason. Hey, you never know what the reasons are anymore. I mean, Shador Sanders probably should have went earlier than 6 last year. So you never know. You just never know. Things are always going on with a lot of these kids coming out of college. Yinzer Joe, he says this: if Rodgers was retiring, I think he would have said so. Why drag that out if you weren't returning? He'll be returning, so no sense in talking about Howard. I tend to agree with you, Joe. I'm and again, just from what I collected and from what I see and just the gut feeling, I have a feeling that Aaron Rodgers is coming back. There's no urgency amongst the team. It doesn't seem like it. They're monitoring Cousins. They're doing this. They're that, and then this. Again, it just doesn't feel like there's an urgency. It doesn't feel like they're concerned. And if they're not concerned, I guess I won't be concerned. And again, with a new coaching staff, a lot of things you'd want to have answers to pretty quick. You're not going to want to wait till mid summer to find out if you're going to have a quarterback. If you're just moving in, you're an offensive-minded head coach. You work with quarterbacks. You're good with quarterbacks. You know Aaron Rodgers. Everything to me leads that they know. Somebody knows that what the official word is going to be. It's just a matter of time now. And again, the Steelers, they tend to keep a lot of like the government. Maybe it's for our own safety. They don't tell us these things. But at the end of the day, Mike, the Steelers tend to do this. If I was a gambling person, and I'm not, I would take my money and I would put it down on Aaron Rodgers. Will be starting as the season starts this year, again, barring any kind of injury or crazy situation. And again, I don't know if anything else in-house is logical at this point. Again, until Mike, we at least see the guys that we have play, which we haven't. And again, all the other options out there are kind of exhausted at this point. And what are you going to do? Go out and grab a rookie in the quarterback in the draft, like that you don't love just to bring them in. And
exactly.
This has Aaron Rodgers written all over it. Unfortunately, but unfortunately, I think.
Yeah, and I think they're in their mind. They already have their room set. It's going to be Rodgers, Mason, and Howard. And probably in that order because the owner wants to compete, wants to be competitive. So Aaron Rodgers right now gives you the best opportunity. After him, Mason Rudolph gives you the best opportunity. Then after him, okay, the season's already over. Might as well see what the young guy got. That's going to be your quarterback room. And if Rodgers decides no, okay, it's going to be either Kirk Cousins or Joe Flacco, then Mason Rudolph and Will Howard because the owner wants to compete. And those are the most logical quarterbacks rooms that you can come up with based on the organization's goals of wanting to compete. So that's what we have to keep in mind too. Like when we're putting together our rosters, what does the owner want to do? Everyone on that team, every decision they make is based off of his philosophy, and that is to remain competitive. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard. That's your quarterback room.
Let's take a look. John says this. Do you think Tom? I'm sorry, John did not say it. John said I would rather see Howard than Rodgers, but I think that won't happen. Just Learning says this. Do you think Tomlin's coaching staff saw that he wasn't good? You know what? That leaves a lot up for debate because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that didn't think that the coaching staff was doing everything correctly and well. But again, at the end of the day, I don't think that because ultimately he got hurt very early in preseason, broke his hand, and really gave himself no opportunity to have himself on the field when he did have those chances. So again, to answer your question, no and maybe.
But even though too, like when he was out, the coaching staff were giving him assignments to do to stay engaged in the game, cutting down game film, to give to Rodgers, like to scout, to do the initial scouting reports on the other defenses for Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph to keep him engaged. If they didn't trust him, didn't think there was anything there, I don't think they would have done those little things to keep him engaged and focused.
When it comes to quarterbacks, and the thing was, and I'm not going to badmouth them. I mean, but at the end of the day, Coach Tomlin walked into a Hall of Fame quarterback. How many times has he had quarterback issues to where he actually got and fixed the problem, understand, recognize? I would love. I mean, that's the most ideal situation in any sport, in any job in any sport, is to walk into a football team and have a franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. So Again, it's hard to say, but at the end of the day, Howard didn't have the opportunity due to the injury to get out there and play last summer, unfortunately. And again, that there's nothing he could have did beyond that. And again, as Mike said, he did all the paperwork and the back stuff that backup quarterbacks should be doing, and probably more as the third string guy, and hopefully being a guy that's going to be involved in the system for a while, just so he could learn. So, yes and no. Again, I don't think that would have been the reason why, but again, the injury was big. The injury was huge. Again, getting hurt that early on in camp, not getting a single snap in preseason. That's what are you going to do? There's not much you could do with that situation, unfortunately. Let's go to Somber. Somber says this: nobody knows what any of the quarterback prospects will turn into. People can guess. Even the people who get paid to know don't know. You know what? And that's it. Then everybody has an opinion. I have an opinion. He has an opinion. Everybody on the board has an opinion. And you know what? When it comes right, when somebody's right, then the ego explodes a little bit. And it's like, look, I said it, I seen it, I called it, I knew it, I knew this guy was going to be special. But you're right, Sommer. I mean, obviously, we're human, and we don't. If we did know how to do this, and we knew who was going to be the hits and the misses, we would all own football teams, and we would all be making a lot of money. But ultimately, you're right. That's any player, anytime, any sport, USA, around the world. So yes, ultimately, you are correct. And again, you never really know who would have thunk some of the guys that came out and were super ended out the way they were, and vice versa. So. It's always a crapshoot. That's what makes NFL, and it's what makes football great. The draft, the NFL, college, the whole system. It's one of the best, and that's why they continue to do it. And that's why they continue to do well. Again, no other team has a system in place how they draft quite like the NFL. Baseball is different with all their minor leagues. Basketball with their G leagues, hockey with all their NFL. They really have something special, and again, it shows on Sunday and throughout the season, year in, year out. Mark Malone says he played some good games, and I don't doubt that. And again, nobody gets to this level without doing that. So it just, again, we have to see him play. That's this summer. There's not much we could do before now and then. The only thing that we could do is sit back and wait and hope and see what Aaron does. But again, it just does not seem like enough urgency amongst the media, the team, any tell signs that says that we might not have a quarterback here in a couple months, Mike. It's just whatever the option may be, whatever you like, whatever your opinion is.
Yeah.
It's just there's not much out there, and it would be concerning to me as a fan of the team if they don't have any word on Aaron Rodgers at all. And again, still going on willy-nilly, doing all the other things that they're doing. And the number one position, probably in all of sports, at the end of the day, is quarterback. Yeah. And you don't have any quarterback with no plan beyond that, Mike. So again, if I was a gambling man, I would put my money on Aaron. Certainly has been in communication, Mike, and he will probably, like I said, barring anything crazy,
he'll be here
the center in September, or under center in September.
Yeah, right now it makes the most logical sense because they're not scrambling to do anything. You don't see them going running and throwing money at a Malik Willis or money at right now at a Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins. So that tells me Aaron Rodgers has already told them, it's done. Let me do my thing. Like, whatever, we don't give a fuck. We're gonna be over here doing our thing. You just show up when we tell you to show up. Like you did last year. Just show and be here when you need to be here. And he was. So, I just have that feeling that's the way it's gonna go. And otherwise, this free agency period would be a completely different thing. We would have a quarterback on this roster, or another quarterback signed onto this roster if we knew Aaron Rodgers was not going to be here.
That's what I'm saying. It's just it's operating too willy nilly.
Unless they know he's not coming back, and they're like, fine, fuck it, we're going to run it with Howard as our starter, Mason as our backup if it completely shits the bed.
And again, Mike, that's not logical either, because at the end of the day, you've never seen the guy play a snap. So again, at this point, I just taking an educated guess, I would say.
Yeah, it's saying that it's gonna be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Let's get on the board, Mike. A couple more minutes. We're going to get on to some topics. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's try to blow through some messages so we don't get too far behind. Introduced says Howard is basically a Rudolph player right now. I'm not putting that in that guy in. I'd rather have Rodgers out there with a cane than play any one of those bench guys. And at the end of the day, I mean, you've seen what Rogers, he's mid-tier. Some people say he's a little higher. Some people say he's a little lower. But at the end of the day, the guy that we had starting under quarterback last year was probably one of the better options we could have had playing quarterback last year. We were able to win 10 games. We were able to make the playoffs. There's a lot of teams around the league that have decent players and decent quarterbacks that didn't even make the playoffs. So at the end of the day, could have been a lot worse. A mid-tier Aaron Rodgers at his age is better than a lot of options out there. So, yes, it's funny. Yes, it's comical. People laugh. But at the end of the day, if he wasn't there, it probably wasn't 10-7 last year. We probably weren't playing in January. It just is what it is. Let's get to Ty. I'm sorry. Steeler Freak says, agree Howard as a long-term backup isn't a bad thing. Followed up by Tyrone saying this. He says, we lost Oregon by one. It was at that 1-point game. I remember that was early in the season. Then Michigan. Then what? That's right. That's right. Ty follows it up by saying, I'm not saying Howard is our guy, but we don't know. We just want to see what he looks like. And that's where I'm at with Howard. I'm not rushing to get him in there, and I'm not rushing to get him out. I just don't think it's fair to have never seen the guy play in on a professional stage. And again, even if it's just preseason, that's a different stage than you see in college. So again, looking forward, and I've been saying that to Mike for a long time, maybe since last summer. I'll be looking forward to this summer to finally get to see him play. Let's go to, I'm not saying Howard's a guy. We did get that one. Let's go right here. Jamal Gang. Always great seeing Jamal. How you doing, man? How you feeling about all this? How does free agency, how is it hitting you, man? Let me know, Jamal. RB says Concepcion didn't run to a knee scope. Boston didn't run because he didn't want to run. Boston. Okay, gotcha. Mark Malone says this: the look in the eye is crucial. The look in the eye is crucial. I think this is probably a Carson Beck comment. Let's go to John. Steeler Freak John says this: Rodgers not deciding is exactly why I could care less if he comes back for another 10-7 with the first round out. His drama queen ass isn't worth it to me. And that's where it is right now. Everybody's on that line. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, I think an educated guess could tell you that it's probably going to be him. But again, you still don't know. You got a lot of people saying, bruh, out of all the quarterbacks in the world, our best option is a 43-year-old man. At this point, maybe. So again, I can't wait till this era is behind us. Ultimately, we need to get that franchise guy. Again, the draft next year, a lot of speculation. The 2027 draft with a lot of quarterbacks coming out. The Pittsburgh Steelers might go after their guy then. If they don't, who knows? This might be who knows if that doesn't happen, how long this is going to go on. Let's go to Ty. Ty says, I think we better if A-Rod came back. Okay, I think we'd be better. I'm sorry, if A-Rod came back, he's going to have actual weapons, better play calling too. I agree. And play calling that kind of revolves around their quarterback and their offense. And again, say what you want, McCarthy and Aaron worked before to the point where they were able to win a championship. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see what they can put together. If he comes back or he doesn't come back, it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. Somber says this. Ty says, but I'd rather see Howard. Somber says this: Texas A&M's pro day is on the 25th. Concepcion not running his 40 2 weeks after a knee scope isn't a crazy concept. Mark Malone says it took 20 years. It was like 25 or 23 or something. I know when I was born, man, it was a long time, it seemed like, till the Steelers got their Big Ben in the early 2000s. In 79-80 was the last time they won a Super Bowl. Prior to that, but I guess you're right, about 20 years when Terry Bradshaw, and then the Mark Malone era came in. Let's scoot up here to, I'm going to go right here to John. It isn't the weapons. Rodgers can't move and throw balls fast. D's with the rush has him looking real bad. And that's where the problem is going to continue, John. I couldn't agree more. I mean, we've seen it was obvious in the Houston game in the playoffs. I mean, we shouldn't even been on the field with that defense. And then all the way back to the Browns loss. Aaron Rodgers and company getting 6 points. Yes, adding a couple receivers, adding the lines, that's certainly an improvement. But to hope, and I guess it's not out of the question, Mike. The trouble that we had last year against the good defenses. We keep talking about this. Cleveland in the 6 points. Houston in the playoffs, or is there going to be enough done on the offensive line, enough done in adding skill players, and enough in new coaching to be able to take an Aaron Rodgers-led team and beat those teams this year? That's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
Those teams that we couldn't stay on the field with, if we're able to stay on the field with them, things have improved. If it goes the same way, you go in, those games just are losses, you don't score a lot of points. We might have improved, but not a lot, Mike. We have to figure out a way to beat teams with good defenses. There's no way you move forward in this league if you don't figure that out. That, Mike, we have to figure out how to beat those teams that we just basically, again, had no chance against. If people say Cleveland, you had no chance against Cleveland. We put up 6 points.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how to beat good defenses. So my question is this, Mike, is there going to be enough done? Is there going to be enough done in this offseason via free agency, via draft, and via new coaching staff to put Aaron Rodgers in position to be able to beat those teams and stay in the game with those teams? Because again, those games were the difference last year. Those losses are what showed us that we didn't belong with the rest of the pack. Are we going to do enough this offseason that's going to allow, if Aaron Rodgers comes back, to shrink the margin of those games, maybe win a couple that we didn't win?
Right now, it's looking to be on a pretty good track. You get a very good offensive-minded head coach in Mike McCarthy, where his offenses are still being used throughout the NFL. The additions of the offensive coordinator himself, Angelico, the offensive line coaches, the receiver coaches, the coaching staff right now is looking like it's the correct coaching staff. The skill position players that we brought in, Rico Dwaddle and Michael Pittman Jr., already big upgrades from what we had last year. So right now the offense is looking really good. And my big thing is who's going to be left tackle, left guard. If they want to run Dylan Cook out there, fine, cool. So we got to address left guard. So you want to go get that guy Ione from Penn State, Bergeron from Oregon, or the dude from Iowa, go get him and plug him in at left guard. The offense looks very much improved from last year. That line looks on paper to be better than last year because your center and right side of your line set. You don't have to worry about that. Left side's a little shaky, but you improve that left side, I think, just by getting a guard in this draft and trusting Dylan Cook. Aaron Rodgers might not have to get rid of the ball as fast as he did this year with the new schemes, the new wide receiver too. Taking pressure off of DK Metcalf. On paper, the offense is looking good to where you can actually start to push the ball down the field. Not have to do checkdowns every other play. I think it's heading in the right direction.
Let's go Yinzer Joe. He says we went 9-8, 10-7 forever. It's not Rodgers' fault, but he did give us a chance to be better. It's true. I felt like we were. Did we with Wilson, Fields, Trubisky, or Pickett? He went off with our limitations. It was such a crazy thing because he did play head and shoulders better than Kenny did. He did play head and shoulders better than Mitch did, and even Wilson and Fields. But again, the 10-7 record, again, that was just where this team was, and it's what's going to make this interesting, guys, to see what direction we go from here. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here for it. Ty says, Ishi, I'm good on Concepcion anyway. Copper, he better than him. Oh, gotcha, be better than him. Cooper, let's go to Ty. Follows us up by saying this: Steel Freak, fix left side offensive line and get actual wide receiver core, be much better. And of course, we knew that these were the problems, Mike. There wasn't a lot going on last year where we're like, geez, oh man, I just can't figure out what the hell's going on. We can't win football games. We only had one wide receiver. The offensive line was still learning and growing and, was porous. You knew that, we had issues. So again, at the end of the day, fixing some of these issues, strengthening that line. And I think, Mike, nothing short of grabbing that first round guard is always good. It's going to leave some question marks, at least until the season starts, because at the end of the day, people are going to say left side of the line, left side of the line, left side of the line. You don't know what's going on in tackle when you got a rookie guard. Yeah. So again, if you go for that guard early, Mike, you got to hit with that, and again, hope that he could be a plug and play guy and come in and play just like the guys right to the right of him. did. And Mike, it almost seems that has to be the move at this point, because beyond that, are you going to find yourself a left guard that's a plug and play outside of the first round?
Right.
I just don't know. So it almost seems inevitable at this point that left guard, unless something happens in the meantime via free agency or trade, it really feels to me like that left guard right now has to be the focal point for round one, pick one for the Steelers.
Yeah, that's the way the roster's shaking out right now, because I like the value for wide receivers to find a competent 3 in the second round than I do a plug and play guard in round 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're sitting there and
what happens if, here's the thing, I think, Mike, the risk factor is this: what happens if the guard don't work, opposed to what happens if that particular receiver don't work? Well, now you do have Pittman Jr. Now you do have him alongside DK. If you can't fill that left hole on the side of the line, this could be a long season.
Yeah, because like if you don't fix that left side, your new targets at wide receiver 2 and running back 1 aren't going to be as effective as if you get a wide receiver 3, which I would love to have that, because that's going to be your eventual replacement, like we were just talking about, that guy to hop into the starting role once those 2 guys are at the end of their contract. But I'd much rather have that O-line. And, this is what Weedle and Kahn, their philosophy, build the lines. Why change it up now? You have a glaring need right there, at least right now, at this juncture. That's where I'm going in the first round. If the draft was tomorrow, I'm getting a left guard. I'm trading up to get that guy from Penn State. I don't want anyone else to get him. I want that guy.
That's kind of how I'm seeing it again, Mike. At this point, if nothing changes between now and 36 days from now, it almost seems like that has to be the move. I'm just going to grab real quick. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's not a sexy pick. It's not one of the ones that the hometown crowd's probably going to love when we're all there, but it's the smart, logical move right now.
Let me grab Somber real quick. I caught his comment. He says Rutledge is more plug and play than McCormick. Get him in the third. And you know what? I don't disagree. But my thing about McCormick is this, Somber. He was thrown into a need situation. He was thrown to the Wolves. He was a rookie. He wasn't even expected to play. I mean, come on, he might not even made this team had our situation been better on with our line and depth. But he got thrown into the Wolves and was able to do what he did with his back against the wall, and he was able to do it consistency. Wasn't making mistakes. Wasn't costing the team. He ended up being one of the more the strengths on this offensive line ultimately. Mm-hmm. So again, Mike, I think what happened with the way it played out for him, I think it's kind of a freak thing when it comes to the offensive line, because again, he wasn't. That's why he wasn't That's why he wasn't picked ultimately, Mike. He was to be a depth player. Came in, got thrown to the Wolves, did a great job. So again, I don't think that's a likely scenario. But a little bit about Rutledge, Mike.
I do like I like Mason McCormick a lot. I think he's a viable right guard in the NFL. I think he's trending in the right direction. His rookie year, he was supposed to be filling in for, or supposed to be learning from James Daniels, and then he got hurt and put in there and played really well. I like him a lot. I'd keep him. Rutledge, he's from Georgia Tech. I haven't seen a whole lot of him, to be honest with you, other than like his first 2 years weren't the greatest, but this year, he came on strong, and he is one of the guys being talked about as one of the better guards in the draft. But me, if I'm going to get one, I want to get the best, and the best is Vega from Penn State, and I don't want to wait, because that's the biggest glaring need right there. If you want to get Rutledge in the third and have him replace McCormick, and McCormick's your swing guard, you could do that, but I don't think they're drafting 2 interior linemen unless one's a center to help back up Zach Frazier.
Somber replied, my point was, you don't need a left guard in the first round. I don't care about it. And neither do I. I'm just saying it didn't play out like the way that it did on purpose. It wasn't thought out. We're going to grab McCormick, and he's this late guy. We're going to plug him in. But he kind of went in against the odds and got that position filled and earned that position. And again, that's not a likely situation. Come in third round or later. Who was the Kendrick Green? I mean, he was the third round.
Oh.
At that point, at that year, if we would have been depending on Kendrick Green to fill a spot on the offensive line, that's what you're getting sometimes in the third round. So again, very unlikely the McCormick situation. We lucked out there, but let's move on. A lot of things to get into today, guys. A lot going on the board. Mike, another 30 seconds, and then we're going to get into some topics.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's look at things right here. Steeler Freak says Muth and TJ are the only two players to get a second contract in many years. That's somewhat of a concern, I think, as well. Tortilla, Omar Khan should be on the $250 bill. Also, let me scoot up right here. I was going to scoot up. It's not scooting for me. You know what, Mike? Well, that gets us to that hour mark. Let's get to some topics.
Yeah.
All right, let's go right here. Topic time. Mike, some concern about depth at the tight end position. Can this possibly be true?
Can this be true?
An overabundance of tight ends to being in need. Mike, of course, Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth are the two names that you're going to see playing tight end, rightfully so. Mike, is JJ Galbraith, is he any part of this solution, or are we looking at a late round tight end, or maybe even something cheap off the market to fill that spot? Mike, are we really in need at tight end?
Of quasi more viable option behind Muth and Washington than JJ Galbraith. I know everyone kind of loves JJ Galbraith. I don't know why. Really didn't see a whole lot of them during preseason. Wouldn't surprise me if they take someone in the 6th, 7th round at tight end and maybe grab one in the undrafted free agent market and have JJ and the two rookies fight out for that number 3 spot. You know, I don't envision us having like 5 tight ends like we did last year, but one more than JJ Galbraith will be on the team.
Some things going on, Mike, as far as new players on the team. We've been announcing new numbers all week, like the new number of Sebastian Joseph Day. I love it. You don't see it often, as number 69. That's right.
Nice.
Sebastian Joseph Day is going to be donning the famous 69, Mike. That is his number.
That was my number when I played football as well.
It was different for you. Yours was because the amount of hot dogs that you were able to eat at one time, but other players just generally not that. Mike can't argue that.
I can't. You got me in a box.
Mike, this is what the breakdown of the contracts of some of our new players come down to. Mike, Sebastian Joseph Day is on a 2-year, $11 million contract with a $4.7 million signing bonus. Breaks down his salary, Mike, to $1.3 million and $5 million. Jaquan Brisker on a 1-year, $5.5. His signing bonus was $4.285 million, Mike. And then his additional salary on top of that for this season is going to be $1.21 million. And finally, Rico Dowdle, 2 years, $12.25 million. He had a $5 million signing bonus, so his salary will break down $1.25 million and then $6 million. Pittman was a little bit more complex, Mike, but that's pretty much the breakdown of the new Steelers that came in and got work done on their contract.
And again, I'm just going through real quick, looking at spot tracks, breakdown of the contracts too. A lot of these contracts, again, are looking like 1-year deals for these guys, even if they're multiple year deals. So, like, if they don't work out, boom, gone. I love that, the way these contracts are structured, because if they hit, hey man, it's a bargain in year 2, and you when you want to try and win now, but also build for the future, like Rooney wants Con and Weedle to do. I love the way they make these contracts work. Right now, somehow we're sitting at $33 million in cap space, apparently.
I was just going to say, Mike, all 3 players count just $12.9 million against the cap for 2026.
What kind of wizardry is being worked?
That's what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? We have to start getting different results. Listen, I like the way that Omar Khan's operating business. It's exciting. It certainly keeps people invested. It keeps people vested in it. But at the end of the day, Mike, new players, big names coming and going. If you're not getting any results at that point, if you're getting the same exact results for what you just exchanged out of, I think that's what Steeler fans ultimately want. We need to get out of the rut.
Yeah.
So hopefully one of these times, Mike, going after, and if it's a good season, let's just say, Dowdle plays out of his mind, we might give him more. Brisker plays out of his mind, we might give him more than a year. Things might happen, but as of right now, Mike, just this constant turnover and getting the exact same results, it should change in theory under a whole new different coaching staff. Mike,
Yes.
that would make sense. But at the end of the day, how things in sports, especially the NFL and our Pittsburgh Steelers, don't make a lot of sense all the time. So again, Mike, I would like to see that. But you made a great point. These all look like one-year contracts to me. At some point, we're expecting that to turn our fortunes a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe be able to take advantage and get another win or two during the season. Get that win, that one elusive win in the playoffs that we've been all craving for so long. So again, let's see if this group of guys can do it, Mike. I like them. There's nothing that I can say about this group of Briskers and Dowdles and Pittmans and Deans that I don't like. But again, last year I liked Darius Slay. I liked Jonnu Smith. The new toys, you're always going to be excited about the new toys. So let's hope that this group can get it done.
Yeah, I hope they can get done. Like like you're saying, like the new coaching staff, you're hoping, okay, it's going to have a different result. I will fucking jump off the Clemente Bridge if we get the same results with the different coaching staff. If we end up at 10-7,
10-7, losing in the first round,
picking
20
pick
points,
picking at pick 22 or some shit like that, I'm going to be done. That just shows we are cursed. We are cursed ever since we let Marc-Andre Fleury leave. Curse of the flower.
The whole town,
whole fucking town.
Listen, in case anybody didn't know, Marc-Andre Fleury, who ended up going on to be one of the best goalies ever, no Pittsburgh team has won a playoff round since Marc-Andre Fleury got moved out to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Not one. Not the Steelers, not the Penguins, not the Pirates. The curse of Marc-Andre Fleury here in Pittsburgh is real. And it's crazy to think because during this 2026, Mike, and nobody has won a playoff game since 2017. None of the big three here in Pittsburgh. And again, do what you want with that. RB says this. He says, you nailed it, Mike. Thanks for reminding me about another thing Tomlin was absolutely shitty at. F. Colbert should have put his foot down at some point. Mark Malone says next year's quarterbacks are going to suck. I'm hearing the contrary. I'm hearing that this might be one of the better classes in a long time. Sometimes you don't know with Mark, though. Sometimes he gets real serious. Other times you don't know when he's pulling your leg. Summers, I'm sorry. He says they'll probably trade a third or fourth for 27 capital. And more than likely, Mike, because again, this year we have an abundance, 12 different picks. And again, Mike, Steelers expected to come up empty in 2027 when it comes to compensatory picks.
Which really is the norm for the Steelers. Like this year is the exception for the
Absolutely.
Steelers. If we get comp picks there, 4th round or like 6th, 7th round. I think the highest one we've had in a long time was, I think Alex Highsmith was a compensatory pick in the 3rd round. That was it. That's the last one I can remember being that high. We would always get these under Kevin Colbert, a 6th rounder or a 7th rounder. So this year, getting that extra 3rd, a 4th, and 2 6th, this is something completely different for the Steelers. This is outside the norm, and that's why it tells me like this is the year they wanted to get their quarterback, and none of them are there. So maybe they move some of those picks to next year. I hope don't move any of your thirds. You have 3 3rd-round picks. Use them.
Yes.
Use them. Even if it's moving up to get the guy you want in the 1st round or up to get the guy you want in the 2nd round, fucking use them, man. Use them. Don't kick them down the can to next year. Get them for an asset for this year.
3rd-round picks are valuable for sure. Mike, also, let's talk about this for a moment. Do you think Mike McCarthy is excited? Mike McCarthy was the first head coach, Mike, in the building for the Georgia Bulldogs Pro Day. Mike, he's on the Georgia Bulldogs stop of the 2026 draft cycle this morning. Mike McCarthy, who can he be eyeballing up? Because again, Mike, the very first coach, nobody was out there before your head coach McCarthy was. Georgia, who do we have our eyes on? Or are we just asking maybe a little bit of getting a little history on our new quarterback down there at Miami, of course, Carson Beck. Just kidding, obviously, Mike. First coach out for Georgia this morning. What do we like from Georgia?
I have no idea, to be quite honest with you. I always forget where guys go to college. So give me a second here. Let me scroll through. Monroe Freeling. He's the tackle. I think we talked about
Freeland,
him a
we
little
talked
bit
about him yesterday.
yesterday. The linebacker, I forgot about him. I forgot CJ Allen. Supposed to be one of the better inside backers, and we might wanting to move on from Patrick Queen. Those are the two that I know off the top of my head. Yeah.
All right, but that is a guy again out and about, Mike. The work never stops, and that's why we continue to do what we do.
Yeah.
Listen, if the Steelers took 3 months off and they all sat around and did nothing, it would be a different story. But these people were constantly working, and that's why we love to do what we do, guys. We love everybody that's involved, and it's again Steeler off season. We're here for it as always. Let's go to this next comment here, Mike, where I'm going to grab a couple more comments, but I do have some more that we're going to get into, some more topics as soon as I can find where we're at. Tyrone says, I hope these coaches bring back the steel curtain. It would be great, man. It would be great. Even just a playoff win. Let's crawl before we walk, you know. I'll take a playoff win any day. But yes, I agree. I'll ultimately tie.
I forgot there's the cornerback Dylan Everett. I know we brought him in, or we talked to him at the combine. He was from Georgia, and the little wide receiver, I think, was it Branch from Zach Branch from Georgia. Those are the other two names that have been bantied about.
A couple people on the board are saying this. Zachariah Branch, still loyal, of course, says this. Let's see. Steeler Freak John. John says Mike McCarthy was told there was a free barbecue at the Georgia Pro Day. That is why he was out there first. Second,
hell yeah.
Still out there.
Whatever we have to do to get him there, we'll get him there.
Also, Summer says probably Freeling is who he might be looking at, and he says hopefully not Broderick 2.0. And Steel Loyal, who I do want to say welcome today. Steel Loyal is saying, you know how them Georgia tackles are.
They look good in college.
John says Rogers' ability is a limitation. I stand by my assessment that any D with a good rush will cause him trouble no matter the weapons or the protection. And that's what I think, you know, if Rogers is the guy, that's what I think people are going to bank on, John, is the fact that the weapons improved and the fact that whether it does or doesn't, the offensive line improved. And that's going to be the neutralizer, I think, ultimately, and that's in that conversation. Well, last year it was this, and last year he didn't have that. So you're right, John. I mean, dealing with a tough defense is a tough thing to do for good teams. And the fact that the Houston game went exactly the way the Houston game went, and the first Cleveland game went the way that the Cleveland game went, and even Green Bay, we were having a hard time moving the ball. The Chargers, Mike, was a tough game for us, and they have a good defense. So anybody that has that defense that's a little better than average or better, we really struggled against. And I think that you're probably right, but that's ultimately I think that's what people are hoping for, John. We can fix that so we can continue at least one more year with Aaron. Ultimately, and beyond that, who knows what's going to happen? We'll certainly stay on top of it every step of the way. Tortilla says Beck looks like he ate too many airheads.
Having a kid who loves airheads, yes, that's probably, I've seen that face numerous times.
RB says this doesn't a good pass rushing team. I think just being in context with what he's saying, though. But yes, absolutely. The Steelers were able to do the things against the teams they should have been able to do against, and they weren't able to do the things against the teams that just had better defenses. And that was just you can see it's a Steeler problem. Absolutely, it's a problem with anybody. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to figure out a way to beat those teams to make that margin closer. Again, losing by 30 points in the playoffs, again, just not acceptable. Whatever the answer is, it has to be figured out real soon. Let's go to Mark Malone. Oops, no, I don't want to go there. Yes, I want to go right here. Mark Malone says this. He says this. Beck can face one side of the field while watching the receiver on the other side of the field. Nobody can look off the safety like Beck.
Like, I'm compelled to put this up every time we talk about Carson Beck. I can't help myself, boys. And look into his eyes.
Here's what I'm thinking. He's got to be
find him.
He's got to be good, because here's the thing, Mike. All those good-looking quarterbacks, the studs, the popular guys, they were out banging chicks over the weekend. I mean, come on. Put that face up one more time. Just put it up there. Let's take a look. Yeah, let me say this one more time.
One eye is higher than the other. I love it. It's like my eyes, man.
He's like a
no one who has eyes like me should be an NFL quarterback.
he looks like a Picasso. Like one eye is like on the middle of his cheek, the other eye is in the middle of his forehead. And this guy was not banging chicks on Saturday night. I can promise you that. So again, maybe
I
he
don't
knows
know, the
his
star
football.
quarterback at Georgia or Miami, he was knee deep in pussy.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see them women. I'd be doing some of them other guys if I was chicks.
You've been doing some of those other guys.
And to be honest with you,
Oh, if you're a chick, okay.
under any circumstances, I don't know, man. I just don't know about that face. John, dude, always great seeing dude on the terrible board, my man. He says, "Afternoon, guys.
Wow.
Let's go to Tortilla Bros. Family tree is yes. Wait a minute. I thought I seen Tater for a second, but I guess I didn't. I must have misread something as it's zoomed by. Let me scoot back here a little bit. Bro, family tree is yes. Steeler Freak says that that guy just sold me weed on the strip last week. That's the face of the franchise for the next 15. Somber says Beck looks like he changes oil in the drive-through Jiffy Lube. Looks like he drinks oil while working at the drive-through Jiffy Lube.
That is great.
Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says the protection will get better with the new offensive line getting more familiar with their teammates, and Rodgers will have more weapons and hopefully better schemes to free open guys. Tyrone says factions are Joe. Also, dude says this. I believe it's been decided for a long time. They're just using it as a distraction. I ultimately too, dude. At the end of the day, I think that it's already figured out. Beck is a spy. Beck is a spy. That's what Tortilla is saying. A-Rod definitely coming back. Ty, I agree with you on that. Ty says DK Pittman maybe add another stud in the draft, which I think is ultimately the plan. And again, this is my prediction as of right now. And again, my prediction could change providing these situations and the circumstances change. Is they're probably going to get that guard. They're probably going to get their left guard with that first pick to plug him and play him. A pro-ready quality left guard, and then they're probably going to get the best possible wide receiver in round 2. Anything beyond that, I think a lot of different things could happen. And again, I could be wrong. I'm just saying that's my prediction if I was to guess right now. Couple more here, Mike. We have some more things we're going to get into in just a moment. RB, no, not RB yet. Yeah, RB. RB says, "This does anyone really think Aaron is going out on a lick 6?" That's true. He did finish his career on a pick 6 if he does wrap it up without a farewell tour season. A lot of people think he's an attention whore, but he's going to leave all that attention on the table. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And also, I guess if he was going to do it last year, would have been the year by playing Green Bay and playing the Jets. Obviously, we don't play either of those teams this year. That would have been the more storied season. But finishing your career, your Hall of Fame career, with a pick 6 could certainly leave a taste in your mouth, huh?
Oh yeah, a big time sour taste.
Also, John says the odds for the Steelers are less than this year. Money talks. Dude says if not Rodgers, 3 competing. Rudolph Howard draft pick. I just don't want to be in that position. That's an ugly situation because for one, we never seen Will. For 2, we're bringing a rookie in. We could say that we almost say that we're ready for this rookie to be our starter. And the other guy in the battle is Mason Rudolph. I don't love the situation at the end of the day. RB says, correct me if I'm wrong, but while Howard was on IR, he wasn't allowed to be involved in the team functions. I thought that was it. I can't remember what happened with him. RB, what was going on with him, Mike, while he was on IR?
With who?
Howard.
I knew, oh god, he was doing just like behind the scenes stuff, splicing film and shit like that for Rodgers and analyzing like the other defenses and giving him the advantage.
Let me read the message one more time, RB.
If I got on the wrong thing there, I forgot.
Hold on. Shh. Let me read the comment again.
Yeah.
RB says, correct me if I'm wrong, but while Howard was on IR, he wasn't allowed to be involved in team functions. I thought that was the rule.
On field team functions.
Gotcha.
There's stuff he can do in the office. He has a lot to do.
Yinzer Joe says, oh, good. Howard could be a sideline signal stealer. Most are looking forward to the 2027 draft as the answer for quarterback. John is saying, also Mark Malone, I'm assuming they'll announce something about Rodgers after the draft. They're moving the goal line. It was first they'll have it by March. Then it was the middle of March. Guess what, guys? Today is March 18. You can't really get more middle of March than this. Now, speculation is this may go all the way into the draft, which again is 36 days from today. Let's grab a few more here, Mike, and then we are going to jump back into some more topics here. Corey, what's up, dude? Always great to see Corey. Don't drink that. The podcast, guys, right here on YouTube. He says, hey, fellas, don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Let's go Steelers. Thank you, Corey. We appreciate that. And in return, I do want to say this, guys. If you love conspiracy theories like I do, you like to know wonder what the government's up to behind closed doors, maybe what's flying around in our skies at night. If you like conspiracy theories, go check out Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. Corey does a great job. There's a plethora of material out there and content that he puts out. A lot of good stuff, a lot of hard work put into it. If conspiracy theories are your thing, go check out Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. All right, let's go to Mark Malone. He said that's why that's with Tomlin at the helm and one wide receiver. And that's what I'm saying. In theory, things could be a lot better. It just, and I'm not saying I'm not saying bad mouthing Tom. I'm just saying with different things happening. Maybe they come in and see things that the former staff didn't see or act on, or and coming in having that knowledge sometimes kind of gives you the edge.
We're seeing it, across town with the Penguins. New coaching staff, new philosophy. A lot of the same players, but some key additions, and they're off to the races. One of the better teams in the NHL. Why can't the same thing happen here in Pittsburgh? Have keep a good foundation, bring in new talent, new coaching staff. On paper, we should be better, because if this coach is better, we should be better.
Right. I just want to come ahead for one moment here. Just go. I'm not going to jump around, Mike, but right here, Corey with the big update. Corey says this, Mike. He says, yeah, I heard Beck and his girl broke up because they couldn't see eye to eye. Corey, game ball for Corey right there.
That is great.
No questions asked.
That is great.
And then I'm going to jump ahead just for 1 second here to tell Randy. I want to say welcome to Randy Wagner. Welcome back to the Terrible Board. And he says, conspiracy theories, bring it on. Do go check out Don't Drink That. He has a lot of good stuff. Do go check him out. Again, Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. I'm going to grab a couple more, Mike, and then we are going to get back to some topics. I'm going to go to right here. Right here. Let's go there. Steeler Freak John says this Rooney isn't making risky moves. Starting Howard will never happen. Richard, what's up? Always great seeing Richard Jankowski on the Terrible Board. He says Rodgers is coming back. I tend to believe so too. That's just the vibe. That's the feel I get. And again, last year maybe we didn't get the vibe, but now we've been through this. We've been there, done that. The vibe I'm getting is it's going to be another Rodgers year, and I'll be very surprised if it doesn't play out that way. And if it doesn't, I'll be the first to admit that I'm wrong. But right now, that's the vibe. I'm having a hard time realistically trying to find another vibe, Mike, with this situation. It just really feels like last year, and it really feels I'm getting the Aaron Rodgers vibe.
Yeah, so am I. And the owner wants to compete, and he's the only quarterback out there that really gives us the best chance to compete. So all signs are Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
If not, man, it's going to be interesting to see how they spin this.
Let's check out what Corey is saying. Mike, Corey on the board is saying Rod Woodson says he's tired of Green Bay quarterbacks always having to have all the attention. I did catch Rod. He says, get this show on the road. And ultimately, I guess, again, if we didn't know Aaron, I would be saying that too, because I was like that this year. Mike, here we are a year later, a whole nother year seasoned, numb to this guy. Again, you kind of feel the vibe now.
Yeah,
I'm not as anxious in who are you going to get? What are we going to do? Again, you kind of feel see the writing on the wall.
It's right there. It's like in fucking neon.
Yeah. You know what? Let me grab one more. Now we're gonna get to some topics here. Right here, where RB says this. He says, "Somber. I don't blame Concepcion. Someone said Boston didn't run for Nice I didn't run for a knee scope. I was saying not. It's Concepcion, not Boston. Boston just didn't want the test. Gotcha. And then this one right here, Steeler Freak says, Ben is a drama queen too. Let me go to Ben. Mike, speaking of drafts, speaking of Ben on his podcast yesterday says this. Mike Ben says, I don't see how the Steelers do anything besides offensive line in the first round.
I'm in good football company. Me and Big Ben, man, we're in tune up here. And yeah, and what's quarterback's best position group? The one that he's always closest with.
Absolutely,
it's the O-line. Yeah, you love to have those studs out at wide receiver,
but you love your own ass.
I love
the best.
I love Give me those big uglies up front to keep me warm and safe all game long. Yeah, and I love it, man. As someone who loves to watch the big uglies fight every game, I love taking defensive linemen in the first round. They're not sexy picks, man, but there might be outside of quarterback the most important position on the team. I mean, go back to that Philly dominating the Chiefs' offensive line in that Super Bowl. Mahomes could do fuck all that game. And if the Chiefs actually had an offensive line, that game would have been a whole hell of a lot closer.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Yes.
Michael Pittman Jr., Mike, named one of the NFL's best offseason moves. Michael Pittman Jr. named one of the NFL's best offseason moves, not just here for the Steelers, Mike, around the league.
Yeah.
For what it was worth, for what we're getting, Michael Pittman Jr. is being said to be one of the best offseason moves. You got to like that as a Steelers fan. Going into offseason saying we have to get some home runs, just knowing how things have been, taking advantage of this transition year. At the end of the day, Mike, to know that we're doing the right things, making the right moves, it's got to feel good as Steeler fans, because again, at the end of the day, all these steps need to take place to get us to where we want to be. I don't know how much longer we could go through seasons where we feel that those things aren't being done. And again, Mike, at the end of the day, a guy like Michael Pittman Jr., that's say what you want, that's a big pickup.
It's a huge pickup. Someone's going to, on average, going to get you 800 plus yards a season, 70 plus catches a season, around 4 to 5 touchdowns a season for a 6th round pick. Sign me up, Chief. And someone who's just, is going to be there day in, day out. Someone described as a pro's pro, a complete professional, not your typical diva wide receiver, which is nice because we already have one of those. We need the counter, we need the yin to the yang, and we got that in Pittman, and someone who's going to do all the dirty work too.
I mean, yeah.
I love this pickup, and it was for dirt cheap. The contract's cheap. This was a steal, a 6th round pick, and you're getting a starting wide receiver. Sign me up all day, every day.
Absolutely. And I also want to say, Mike, Steelers stock is up after the recent additions. The odds for championships, as John was saying, still aren't fantastic or anything even relatively good. But the stock in the talk about the team certainly up after these moves. And again, if we could hit a home run in the draft and get a couple people that we're going to be able to plug and play in rounds 1, 2, and maybe a third round guy. Who knows? At this point, Mike, we do have to continue to keep hitting home runs, as that was the goal. We couldn't have went into this offseason without hitting home runs. So many different wheels are moving. Again, coaching staff, Mike, new coaching staff, new coordinators, new free agents coming in, veterans, new kids coming in through the draft, of course. So much, Mike, so many more. We have to continue to hit the ball well. I think, again, at the end of the day, people are saying that the big Michael Pittman Jr., again, named the NFL's best offseason move, is a good start for all that, Mike. We have to continue on that road if this team is going to get back to at least where we want it to be.
Yeah, and excuse me, for being labeled the best offseason move, it wasn't like a big flashy move either. It was like every people in the NFL know how good he is, but he's like not like a Justin Jefferson moving. But I think he's going to have such a huge impact because what he's going to free up for
Absolutely.
DK Metcalf to allow DK Metcalf to do DK Metcalf things, and those two are just going to play so well off of each
And
other.
DK is going to allow Pittman to do Pittman things.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then that's going to allow Freiermuth to do what he can do, allow Darnell to do what he can do. It's just, and this is why addressing that offensive line is so important. We got our pretties, we got our pretty guys. Now let's get our ugly guys figured out. Because it felt like before Pittman, we were going to, get built the trenches in free agency, then the draft, go out and get our skill position players. But the flip kind of the script flipped on us, man. They want skill position free agency, so that's telling me big uglies in round one, or at least round two.
Let's get back on the board for a couple here. I want to say, dude says this: what do people want this process to be over? If we really want a franchise quarterback, bite the bullet and let some guys compete for number one. If we have a losing season, so what? Don't pay 30 or 40 million. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're not wrong. Just depends on where you're coming at it. You know what I mean? It's not a bad it's not a bad resolution, but again, it's going to be interesting, guys. We do want to find that franchise quarterback, as everyone does. I do want to say welcome to Steeler. I'm going to just say Steeler Jedi, just to keep it safe. Steeler Jedi says we really won't. And I want to say welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. We really won't know anything until we see how Mike McCarthy runs it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. John says, for a shot in the dark, Randy Wagner. Again, I did welcome him earlier. Welcome, Randy. He says, I have extremely high expectations for our new coaching staff. Good things are on the way. I agree. I think it is going to be a good season. I think we are going to land on our feet. And again, as Steeler Jedi said, we don't know. We don't know what the system is. So it's all speculation now. But I have a feeling that we land on our feet, Mike. If we could do as well as we did last year, and have that being the base to move forward from, maybe do a little better. Great, fantastic. But at the end of the day, let's at least get 10 wins, and let's go from there. And if that turns into 11 or 12, albeit, but I mean, not albeit, but you know what
I mean? Yeah. I know what you mean. And like I said earlier, man, I'm just going to be annoyed if it's the same 10-7 out in the first round. A little bit of improvement is what I want to see, or like the offense take a quantum leap next year. If we might not win a bunch of games, but the offense is showing, oh my God, this is what a real NFL offense looks like. Awesome, cool. Sign me up. I'm willing to take a little bit of a down year. But I just, it's going to be fun, man. Something new, something we haven't seen in 18 years here. It's fun watching the Penguins do something new after all that time with Sully. So I can't wait to see the Steelers do what they do.
And the
with
Pirates, Mike, even with Don Kelly. I mean, I always say there's always a new coach effect, at least here in Pittsburgh. I've seen coaches go elsewhere as a new coach and be terrible.
Yeah.
But anytime we get a new coach here in Pittsburgh, Mike, there's always some kind of success or improvement. Certainly, their Steelers, Penguins, again, always. Every time they went to a cup was under a new coach, with the exception of Sully's back-to-backs. And again, Mike, the Pirates looking greatly improved from what they've been. So let's hope that we can get the same from all three of these coaches, Mike, as we go into this 2026 season. I think we're going to be advancing out of the first round. One of these teams, two of these teams, maybe all three of these teams, Mike. At the end of the day, it's been against since 2017 when Marc-Andre Fleury gets traded, or we lose him to the expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, was the last time that a major Pittsburgh sports team even got out of a round in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's someone needs to break the curse this year.
Absolutely. John says, how exciting would it be to have would training camp be? I'm sorry, in preseason be if it were a true competition for quarterback one. I agree. We haven't had a good competition at quarterback for a while. Let's see. Steeler Jedi says, I'm extremely happy that for once in a long time, it's a new and exciting team. I'm not just expecting another 9-8. And I think that's ultimately what we all want. You know what I mean? I'm excited too. I'm excited too. In the past, Mike, you might not have been so much, but the way that, again, Omar Khan handles free agency and things like that, it's making it's exciting. Who can't get excited about Jalen Ramsey last year and Pittman this year? And come on.
Rico Dwaddle.
Also, let's go to Yinzer Joe, where he says, I find it ridiculous that Tom Brady returns to play for the Bucs for his 22nd, and their fans were excited. But here we just put Rodgers down even with all of his accomplishments.
Well, Brady was still operating at He wasn't just checking the ball down. He was checking the ball down the field. You know?
And you know what? They were kind of ready for. They had a nice team around them.
Well, they had a really good team.
They were
just
missing a quarter. If we were just missing a quarterback, the conversations would be a lot different, I think.
Hey, if Rodgers was slinging it the way Brady was in year 22, I'd sign me the fuck up.
Yinzer Joe, I'm sorry, not Tyrone. True, I felt bad. We gave him no weapons, an old scheme, shitty offensive coordinator. Hopefully, they make the right move so he succeeds. Hey, what's up? Always great seeing Vegas on the board. He says, "What's good, everybody?" Out from Las Vegas, my man. Randy says, "Secure your seatbelts to infinity and beyond. Go Steelers, go." Mark Malone says, "If Vega and Cooper are gone, I would trade for Concepcion, nab Dunker with the second." Mark Malone, obviously Beck with one of the threes.
This guy with one of the threes. We want this guy with one of the thirds.
Why do you gotta at least give us a heads up when you're doing this?
I told you, anytime Carson Beck is mentioned, that picture is popping up, brother.
Mike says, I'm sorry, Tyrone says Mike Vega. Let's go to Chazzy's back, baby. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the show. It says this: how do you guys feel about the rapid rise in anti-condimentism? There are a lot of people that actually use their own free will to eat dry sandwiches, and it's wrong. Condomization. I got you with condiments.
You got to put a condiment on a sandwich. A little bit of mayo, some mustard, something. You got to have something on there.
Condimentism is the word. I'm sorry.
I love it.
A lot of times I don't even look at a word to try to spell it out. I just try it with no rhyme or reason. But you're right, Mike. As a matter of fact, I have to have condiments. If I order something and it doesn't give me my condiment that I asked for, I can't eat it.
Yeah. No, I want something on there. I don't want a dry sandwich. You know, there's got to be something on there.
Like if I order, I get honey mustard. Like, all right, for example, if I get Wendy's, and I get a spicy chicken sandwich, I always have to get the honey mustard on the side to dip it in. Or if I get Taco Bell, I got to get the nacho cheese to dip it in.
Yeah.
And if they don't put that in, it f's up the whole meal. I won't eat my meal. I can't eat my meal.
No, because that's a big component of.
And that's the way you like it, right?
Yeah. I like when I make sandwiches, so like spread some mayo on there, a little bit of mustard, to give it a little juice, a little more juice.
I want to say to Chazzy's back, baby, I think that anti-condimentism is terrible. There you go.
I love the people who rail against, oh my God, you put ketchup on a hamburger.
You know what the people that get me is the people that are mad that you put ketchup on a hot dog. Oh my God, you put ketchup on a hot dog? That is so gross. I'm from Chicago. We put pickles on our hot dogs. We put this, we put that, but ketchup is gross?
No.
I hate that argument.
Ketchup, mustard, and a little bit of relish and some onions.
Ketchup's amazing.
Heinz ketchup is amazing. It's all these people. I have a feeling the people who bitch about ketchup only eat Hunt or another off-brand. They don't eat Heinz.
That's what
if you eat Heinz, you'd be just squirting that shit into your mouth.
Tyrone says, I'm sorry, Somber. He says, my point was, okay, we did get that one, Somber. Tyrone says you don't, but if he's available to get, I'm doing it. That guard won't be there. That's what Somber's saying. Also, Tyrone says trade up. LOL. Ty says we got 12 picks. They will at some point. Galbraith. Mark Malone says he can play. Michael Trigg, Steel Loyal. I did want to say what's up to Steel Loyal. Always great seeing you on a terrible board. Somber says JJ flashed a little. We need a tight end fullback though. Mike, who's going to fill that role? Who's going to be that versatile tight end fullback? Do all the dirty crap, special teams, take the tush push in the back there. Mike, somebody's got to do that job. And again, I thought Connor Hayward really was the guy, and he wants to play more. Maybe Oakland or Las Vegas will play him, but we have to fill that spot, Mike.
We have to, and that's why I said don't be surprised that someone in the later rounds just fills that role, because Connor was like a 6th round pick, little undersized athletic guy, but that's not afraid to get in there and get dirty. Look for someone similar in that vein later in the draft.
Let's go to Somber, where he says Riley Nowakowski. John Steeler Freak says finishing the offensive line so it is ready. Priority for me. You know what? Ultimately, it's not going to be popular, but at the end of the day, for the best case scenario, the building blocks, the foundation, I think, Mike, is that offensive line. And if they would grab somebody at that left guard position to shore it up for the next 5-7 years, I think that would be again very, very good. Put us in a good position, Mike, not only this year but beyond this year as well.
Like, don't neglect either offense or defensive line. They're the backbones of both units, man. If you have a shitty line, we see what happens with, you can get ran all over, or, you get your quarterback killed. Lines are the most important position group outside of quarterback.
Let's go to right here. Mark Malone. Mark Malone says Galbraith should have number 69.
No. If we get the dude from Dunkirk or whatever his name is from Iowa, he should have had 69 with that mullet flowing.
Dunker and Galbraith.
No, maybe they'll give him 6'7".
Tortilla says Omar Khan for president. So Tyrone says Panthers sign A.J. Dillon. Steel Loyal says A.J. Dillon going to take over the starting job there. Watch. John, I'm sorry, Aaron. There it is, Aaron Jade. Mike, there it is. Here we go. Steelers with the Rockets. I love it. Always great to see Aaron Jade on the terrible board. John Steeler Freak says this 1-year contracts are another low risk indicator the team gives to the fans for how serious it is about a season. Vegas says we have been cursed since that damn Black and Yellow song came out. Since it was released, we lost the Super Bowl and haven't been close to going back.
It's black and gold.
And you know what? He's supposed to be here sometime. Like I know coming this summer, there's something. There's something big coming. I just seen the other day that Wiz Khalifa will be back in town for some big concert coming up. Let's go to Steel Loyal says Mark Malone thinks Carson Beck is a good quarterback. That tells you what you need to know about him and quarterbacks.
It's what the paint that he huffs tells him. It's not him personally. It's the paint. The paint fumes are telling him.
He's like F trusting the process. I'm trusting the spray paint is what Mark Malone got going on over there in the Midwest. Dude says this. He says 2 duds last year. I'm cautiously optimistic this year with the new coaching staff and the free agency picks. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. You know what? I'm usually not, but I am this year. I think we're going to be okay. I do. I think we might surprise some people. Mark Malone, I think Peyton Wilson was a 3 comp pick. Was he? I don't recall.
No, he was the Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Compensation for Kenny Pickett.
I'm going to scoop past some of these, Mike, and then I'm going to get some more topics, and then we're going to probably fast forward it up just a hair to kind of get more up to date here on the board because we did get a lot of these. We got a lot of these right in the middle of this. Branch by guy depends on why we're if we can get open fast. So let me just bump this up a little bit. Richard says this. He says Beck looked like he's turning into a lizard. He's like, one of them
he's gonna start shedding his skin.
Them shapeshifters. You ever see that? With these conspiracies, the shapeshifters. He might very well be a shapeshifter.
That is great.
Let's scoot up a little bit more here. I do want to say Dang Lamore. I do want to say welcome to Dang Lamore. Again, looking just if I see any new names. I apologize. I'm not trying to pass you. Justin Brown as well because and then also he says laugh my ass off, bro, as high as fuck. I was between high as hell and high, but welcome to Justin Brown as well. Let me scoot up just a hair further. I don't know what this is. I don't know what RB's doing on this. Like he says, breaking Cam Hayward attacks Steeler fans who attacked his brother threatens to expose all you who did. What is that?
I don't know. I was doing some sleuth working because I saw that pop up a while ago. I've yet to see anything. So it's something I'm keeping an eye on.
You know what? And I'm going to be honest with you, it works because that is my segue, Mike, because my next I want to get into Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward does say this, Mike. Cam hints at conversations with Aaron Rodgers are either still going on or picked back up, Mike. He says, we're working on that. When asked about the Aaron Rodgers situation, quote, we're working on that, end quote, is what Cam said in regards to being asked about Aaron Rodgers.
It is came in the front office. We're working on it. But you probably, hey Omar, what the hell's going on with Aaron? Oh, don't worry, Cam, we're in conversation. Or Cam's reaching out to him too, but hey man, what's going on? So all signs are pointing towards Aaron Rodgers is our starting quarterback. Again, get ready for it. Run it back.
And also, Mike, as we are just at the time of the show, this here is regarding Cam Hayward. He talked to his friend Max Crosby. This interesting. I thought it was kind of funny, but this is what friend Max Crosby said to Cam Hayward regarding everything that just went down last week with the Baltimore Ravens, the injury, the Indian giving, I guess you would call it. Some people would taking back their 2 picks and reneging on this move. Mike, this what was said. Quote by Max Crosby. He was like, all right, here we go. Fuck those dudes. Max Crosby said, fuck those dudes. I'm staying with the Raiders. I was like, Cam Hayward's like, I was all right. I can respect that, man. Max has always been straight up with me, and I've always respected Max a lot. Cam Hayward said, I was happy he didn't end up with the Ravens selfishly, but to say he's going to be there also made me happy because he's going to be able to take good care of his little brother, is what he's saying. Like, he's happy that he's staying with the Raiders because he's going to be able to keep an eye on little Meatwad down in Las Vegas. What's going on there?
Oh God, is Cam afraid that Connor can't control himself in Vegas?
You're
gonna have Max Crosby keep him in line.
You've seen what happened to Skylar Thompson in Ireland, and what happened to Mark Sanchez in Chicago, or wherever the hell. You can never be too safe.
You can never be too safe. And that Max Crosby stuff is very interesting because in another interview, Max Crosby was saying, like, he's like, I get there, what the coach wouldn't talk to him for 2 days. He met the GM once, and he's like, the vibe was weird. I met with the doctor, the vibe was weird, and the next thing I know, I failed my physical.
Yeah.
He said the whole thing just didn't feel right.
The whole thing wasn't right. I got to be. But again, Mike, he's in the AFC West.
Not our problem.
We don't have to worry about that this year. The team that we get from the West is going to be the first place team, so that's not even anything. But again, he was like, "Fuck those dudes."
Fuck those dudes. If that doesn't have Steeler energy written on hthem,
yeah, right.
I don't know what does. Let's go get them.
Let's get back on the board here for some, Mike. Let's go to Mark Milano. Bella Danger. Where's she been?
Wasn't she with Carson Beck?
I don't know. You told me that when it was all going down, but I didn't think they were together. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't know if she was dating him or someone else on the team.
Well, they were showing his sister, and I think that confused people during the game. Okay. Because his sister was there, and he kept talking about her, but they kept showing Bella. I could be wrong. It might be his sister, but I that wasn't the way I took it. C Steel Loyal. That's exactly how it works. RB. Let's scoot up a little bit here more. Joe says Beck played the homeless guy in the movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler, didn't he?
Oh, fucking hell.
RB says if that was the case, why do teams pay offensive linemen so much if a team is getting home with a home four and doing it over and over? Scheme more than talent is what's going to beat that. You need both, but scheme is greater. Steel Loyal says this is simply about pass rushers affecting a quarterback. You're going deep into it now. Let's go to, again, I'm just going to scoot up just a hair here. I apologize. I will read every single message, I promise you.
Oh, he does.
Just to try to stay current on the conversation. I am going to move up here. Let's see. Well, yeah, you can't call the quarterback out for not being able to handle the rush and then not point out that scheme helped him absolutely zero. It's not as simple as he can't handle the rush anymore. I think him and Steele were talking about that. Okay, RB says I was originally talking to Loyal. Gotcha. Randy Wagner, I do want to say welcome to you, sir, as well. Randy says this, Mike Beck completed 72% of his passes, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks, showed ability to shred a secondary from a clean pocket with improved poise, but struggles under pressure.
that's not what I like to hear. That struggles under pressure part, and you're going to be under pressure more in the pros than you were in college. I, just
You're just an anti-Cockeye is the problem.
it is so like
You just don't want him because of his eye. I know
I
that.
have fucked up eyes too, man, and
Not
trust
like
me,
that. I mean, you do, but not like
I
that.
do, man. I got like Forrest Whitaker eyes. My eyes are like very squint and narrowy for a white guy. It's weird what I got going on here. So when I see it in someone else, I don't trust them because I know what I see and I don't see everything. How am I going to trust that cat to see everything?
Steeler Freak says Rodgers isn't going to hold on to the ball longer than he gets longer as he gets older. Bend it neither. Simple as that. We were spoiled, still loyal. I agree. Also, Montana or Brady never hung on to the ball either. Seemed to work out well for them, is what RB is saying. Let's go Tyrone. I'm back. What I miss? Also, Steeler Freak says early Ben took the hit. Late Ben was quick draw. Scoot up a little bit more here. Again, I apologize. I'm not trying to miss anybody. Ronald says, hey, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Ronald Albright on the terrible board. He says, hello, gentlemen. Always good seeing you, bro. Hope things are well. Again, 36 days out from the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's getting here fast. Randy says, Yinzers are delivering facts. Let's go up here a little bit too. I'm going to grab another Randy, actually. Randy says, finally beefing up our receiver room. What took so long? I would like to just talk to somebody in the know and say, what the fuck were you thinking for 2 years, especially after you went 1 year with the problem and Mike Williams was the Band-Aid. How could you get into that second season being in no better position at wide receiver? I would just love to talk to somebody who gets paid a lot of money that is involved in this process just to hear what they have to say. Again, I've never seen that in my life, and I understand the argument. Some teams build their teams different. They don't have, and all the arguments were made, but I've never seen a team go for multiple seasons with just not carrying that position. It's insane.
You notice both our top two receivers were not signed as free agents. We had to lure them in from trade and give them a raise for them to come play here, and that might be the reason why. Like had trouble to get. When's the last time we signed a free agent wide receiver during free agency?
I couldn't even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really don't want to seem to come here.
What are you talking about? We got Juan Valdez-Scantling. Oh no, he was okay. I see what you're saying. I got you. Let's go to Kenneth. Kenneth says, what's up, guys? Always great seeing the great Kenneth Jones on the terrible board. We were discussing different degrees of average until the quarterback is found. John Somber says he was a cornerback as a freshman. That's probably why they moved him to safety. Let me scoot upwards here a little bit. Yinzer Joe, the Steelers organization doesn't bite bullets. They reconstruct, not rebuild. It's true. I don't recall when the last rebuild would have been, but it seems like it adds weight. Steel Loyal says, ain't heard from any of the Steelers insiders. LOL. Kenneth says, Omar's cooking. Can't wait till the draft. Me too. I tell you what, could you imagine a little over a month from right now? Again, 36 days till the NFL draft. The day or two after the draft's officially over, it goes through the weekend. We come back that following week and we start talking about all the new toys, all the new things that we have. And if we're having the conversation that I hope that we're having, we addressed those, the holes that we need desperately, and we're all in a good mood, and we're all excited, and we start to put pieces together, and we get word on our quarterback. Guys, we might just be a month away from being ready for time to fast forward to get to football season, because once the draft's over, Mike, you basically have all your pieces in place. You still have to get in and find out who's going to be good enough, who's going to stick around, who's not going to. But at the end of the day, guys, just a little over a month from now, we're going to have a lot of answers, at least a partial part of the whole. There's still so much to see what the schemes are, what the offense is going to be, what the defense is going to be. But as far as personnel wise, Mike, just a little over a month. Again, 36 days. Let's call it 40 days by the time the draft is over. We get to that following week. So about 40 days from right now, as far as personnel goes, a lot of questions are going to be answered.
Oh, yeah.
You start getting into, you have 90 guys, you have to start cutting them down. Again, as we do every year, who's going to be around, who's not going to be around. Yep. It's not as grueling of a process as it can be. You're basically just trying to maybe find a diamond in the rough if there's one out there, but you pretty much know who your team is going to be coming out of the gate. There's not many secrets, especially in the NFL, Mike.
You figure post-draft, and then they're going to sign their undrafted rookie free agents, they already have in mind who their top 53 are going to be.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
probably even have like who their practice squad's going to be going in, or hoping that that's what's going to pan out. And you can tell who through camp they want to see succeed by how many reps they get in a game, and how many times they're in doing a certain drill during practice. So the teams already have it in place who's going to be there normally. But new coaching staff, man, there might be some surprise cuts this year. I don't know who they could be, but the guys that were normally here that
This would
might
be
not be. This would be the year to do it.
This would be a year again. I mean, under a whole new coaching staff, Mike.
Yeah.
So they might just come in and not like a guy that he might have stiff hips. He might have two left feet. Whatever the case may be, somebody that may have been liked
May
under
not be
the
here.
last coaching staff might not be around.
Yeah.
So again, good point on that. Let's see. Ronald Albright says this: Mike Steele's shown a lot of interest in Denzel Boston. However, refusing to run the 40 at his pro day in the combine when 100% healthy is a huge red flag. Mike, not to skip over that comment, but I just kind of wanted to relate back to real quick. We were just talking about free agents. My last note on my page, as far as all my Steeler notes, Mike, what the hell happened to Beanie Bishop? This is what I got. Beanie Bishop suspended for the first 3 games of the season. Of course, playing with the Saints now. Tom Pelissero reports this. Beanie Bishop. Is there any leaked information? Is there any scoop? What the hell happened to Beanie Bishop, Mike?
I heard the same thing that you did. I saw it pop up. So my first thought is, it's got to be a performance enhancing drug type situation.
That was my assumption also.
That's my assumption. I haven't seen anything, but that would make the most sense. Because if it was like something for a crime, you would have seen police reports, and then it would have to be adjudicated by the league. A suspension handed down. This an automatic 3 game. That's telling me there's some sort of illegal substance was used.
Mike Tortilla, he's debating what you're saying. He says this. He says he got suspended because he said JPJ wasn't the GOAT.
I think that might be the truth right there, and they're just going to hide it behind drug use.
William Bailey, I do want to say what's up to William Bailey. Welcome back to the Terrible Board. He says, "Do we sign another free agent? Not as of today, not that I know of." Mike, just double check me in case it happened in the
nothing yet.
I think the last move we made, William, was the Sebastian Joseph Day. I think that it would be the last move.
Yeah, that was. Pardon me. Yeah, that was the last move.
But Dill, welcome to see you back. Glad to see you back, William. Hope everything is well for you, sir. Let's go to right here. A couple comments. It's kind of just catching my eye at this point, Mike. It skipped. Where did it go? Where did it go? Let me go grab this one. Ronald says this, guys. I heard Pittsburgh is very interested in Arkansas quarterback Jalen Green. Also, tackle that for 1 second, Mike, just so I could find where I'm at on my board. Talon Green.
I haven't heard anything about that one. That's I don't know. I don't think he's going to be that good of a pro quarterback. He wildly inaccurate, be a long-term project, and it would surprise me if the Steelers do take a quarterback in this draft. If the reports are true that they're high on Will Howard, I don't see them taking a quarterback at all, let alone one who's more of a project than Will Howard is.
And I do want to say this. I am seeing RB, of course, from our staff. RB is saying substance abuse. That's all they said, which is again, that's what I assumed it was at this point with that particular punishment. Let's scoot up a little bit right here to our Steel Loyal. It says, bring back Heinz Field. Heinz Field is still here. It just moved locations. Heinz came in. They swooped in and built Aliquippa, a brand new football stadium. And it is Heinz Field. It's literally officially Heinz Field. Aliquippa High School plays at Heinz Field. Let's go to Ragu. What's up, dude? What's up? Always great seeing Ragu 8804 on the board. Ragu is saying this. Miracle Whip or mayonnaise? For me, it's mayonnaise 100% of the time. I don't know what that taste is in Miracle Whip that makes it taste different, but Hellman's mayonnaise, that's my shit.
Yeah, that is legit right there. That might be the smartest thing you've ever said on this show.
And then also Duke is king. That Duke mayonnaise is okay, but again, I do prefer the Hellman's regular mayonnaise. Dude says they'll say no ketchup, but be okay with salsa. People just like to say salsa. Let's do scoot up here. The tush push in the back is crazy. Let me grab a couple more. Steel Loyal, that's a Steeler football. Who'll keep some packages in there. McCarthy's going to cut all three tight ends. He cut all three tight ends, fullbacks, bullshit out. Yeah, maybe we're okay with what we have. Again, we had plenty of tight ends. We barely even used all of them last year, Mike. With all the tight ends, Muth wasn't getting his playing time, and maybe running with what we have might not be the worst idea. Steel Loyal says Wiz Khalifa is goated. He said, I don't give a fuck. He will be back. He will be back this summer. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal says, I see your vision with Beck's eyes, Mark. LOL, he's got 250. Yeah, baby. There it is. I'm getting used to that surprise now, Mike. At first, it was jarring and startling, but now I'm kind of used to you doing that. So
yeah, like I like now to wait till you're kind of wrapping up your thought with Carson Beck, ready to move on to throw him up. It brings me more enjoyment to do it that way.
Dude says this. You guys, you two are top tier specimens of men making fun of Beck. LOL.
Hell yeah, we are. I mean, look at this. This just screams peak male performance. Okay, this is just perfection.
That's right. Call him Brad Armpit. And you know, I thought of another word the other day. And I had it for Tater, but the Tater hasn't showed up for two ever since St. Patrick's Day came around. I don't know.
I think he's still recovering.
I was working with the in-house band, the AI band, working on that song the other day, Mike, and he's dirt. You know, there's the doppelganger.
Yeah,
he's kind of like Derpy's doppelganger. I just didn't have anywhere to put it anywhere, so the doppelganger. That is what RB is. Ganger. So much material for the tart, and he hasn't been showing up. I don't know
he hasn't, man. I hope his liver is okay.
And Mark Malone says Tater was likely arrested on St. Patty's Day. Let me grab a few more here, Mike, and I'm going to pass it over to you. I'm going to scoot up a bit. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any names. Corey, don't drink that. Says, yeah, Beck couldn't commit to entering the draft last year because he had a hard time seeing a future in the NFL. Let's go to Ron Albright. When you consider that Beck's best wide receiver was a 17-year-old true freshman, I think it's pretty impressive to me. Fernando Mendoza as a total fake quarterback, I think he's a bust waiting to happen. More than likely, and if he goes to the Raiders, I think that's just accelerated. Yeah. I can't imagine. I would guess that you're probably right. Let's go Steel Loyal. Tony is a monster. His age don't mean anything. Let's scoot up a little bit here. Steeler Freaky said, I had a girlfriend with stiff hips. She could crack a walnut with her ass cheeks. Who was it yesterday? Who was it yesterday with the 317-pound X?
No, it was the 3,317-pound X. That was the numbers in his.
Well, that's not the question. The question was,
I don't remember his name. I can't remember his name.
That's irrelevant. I want to know. I want to know who it was.
I can't remember.
You just totally went over the question and answered another question.
Yeah, it's what I do.
I think I remember who it was. I just can't. It's just not coming to me. I can remember who it was. It's just not coming to me right this moment. They're trying to deport him. Mark Malone says Tortilla says he got suspended because he said JPJ wasn't the GOAT. Steeler John says Bishop slept with Aaron's AI wife. Also, let's see. Don't drink that. He violated the conduct policy for having an OnlyFans. Couldn't cut it as a starter, so he had to do something, right? Yeah, that's what I'm getting to, RB. RB says substance abuse. That's all they said. Let me grab a couple more here, Mike. Christophus, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Christopher's on the board.
What
Christopher
up?
says, you guys tried Hellman's vegan mayo? I have not.
I have not.
See, I still don't care enough about my own well-being to think like that yet.
We can tell.
All right, let's go get the scale real quick and let's duke this one out. And then you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I'm not saying that I wouldn't try it or I wouldn't like it. I'm just not at that point yet. I haven't had my first heart attack yet. I think I'll start
I
getting
haven't
serious.
had my first heart attack yet.
I think that's when I'll start getting serious about those kind of things. But again, I'll keep that in mind when it does happen.
I tell you what, I've never had the vegan mayo, but for a while there when I was being a nut going to the gym all the time, the Impossible Burger was one of my favorite things to buy and eat. The plant-based hamburger. I don't know what it was. It tasted just like a burger, and it was made out of plants. It fucking blew my mind.
Let's see. Let's go to Steeler Freak. He says all of Ryan's favorite foods can be bought with Snap program. He likes Spam. Hey, nothing wrong with little Spam.
Nothing. Hey, man. That's some good eats right there.
Tortilla says, Ryan said, there it is. And I thought Aaron Jade said, here we go. But all I saw was Carson Beck. There it is. Grabs your attention. You look and you see that face. You see that face. Yeah. Can you imagine looking at that face every day for the next 4 years? Can you imagine? There it is.
I'm telling you, that screams Russian left winger skating next to Sidney Crosby. That's what he looks like. Does not look like an NFL quarterback. It is freaking me out that he could be. He's playing the wrong sport.
Couple more, Mike. Let's go to Jello Donut. Hey, what's up, Jello Donut? Always great seeing you back in the house. He says, big news, Heinz ketchup, the official ketchup of the NFL. That's we love it. We love our Heinz right here. You know that? In Western PA. Again, it never went away. It's just 25 minutes up the river. Let's see. JPJ, what? Laughed my ass off. Tyrone. Still Loyal says, we said JPJ 3 times and Tyrone appeared. Still one of my favorite jokes. Speaking of biggins, I ate a gummy over the weekend and laughed my ass off at my 300-pound life highlights.
I'm not gonna lie, I took a gummy after work today, and oh boy, was I soaring with the Eagles.
Let's try Ronald. He says, I want to know where to find good street tacos. I will seek out Fernando Mendoza, but I want a pro quarterback. No bueno. I'm a vegan of Las Vegas. Viva vegan Las Vegas. Maybe, I don't know. Let's go forward a little bit more to dude. All the chemicals in vegan processed food. Yeah, see that's why I stick with the that's why I stick with the terrible for you bad food, is because of all the bad stuff that's in the good food. If you're gonna eat stuff with bad stuff, you might as well eat the bad food. I like GMOs. I like high fructose. All that shit that they don't want you to have, I like it all. I had no problem with food. Now they want to charge you $10 for a burger. And you know what else is weird? Kind of off topic, but with burgers being $10, and I understand Western PA is a little bit behind the rest of the world. California's always been expensive. You know, bigger cities, New York, Chicago, LA, always more expensive. But $10 burgers, and then these rumors, Mike, about from the Epstein files, from like body parts being in fucking McDonald's and shit. How this is a real thing. It's in the files. So if you believe the files or whatever, they've been putting there's 2% human or some shit in McDonald's burgers. And in my opinion, burgers $10 that have human in them, that can't be good for business.
Soylent Green, it's made of people.
So there you go. But I'm just saying, I can't imagine how that could be good for business. And again, a $10 burger in Western Pennsylvania is very expensive. It must mean burgers in California must be $25. I don't know what's going on, but I can't imagine. Again, I can't imagine fast food survives many more big hits, guys. It's a lot of money for a burger, Mike.
Oh my God, that is a lot of money.
Don't drink that. Says you are what you eat. Couple more here. Couple more.
I like this one. From John Dude. You guys are going to shame Beck into sunglasses all the time. Maybe an endorsement contract.
I wish. One can only wish with the sunglasses for that guy. Mark Malone says, dude, lack of absorbable amino acids is the biggest problem. I'm going to do one more and I'm going to pass it over to you, Mike. I don't want Beck, good productive college quarterback, but not a great pro prospect. Of course, I could be wrong in my honest opinion. I like Aller. Vegas says Gordon Ramsay has a $50 burger. It is spot. Yeah, come on. That's crazy. Mark Malone, crap, a pound of 80-20 chuck beef is damn near. That's what I'm saying. Mike, you know what I'm also saying? Why don't you? Oh, hold on, right here. What John also says this: Beck's quarterback report states he has dead eye atrophy.
But which eye? And which receiver is he looking at? Probably sees 4 guys out there. He's trying to throw the ball to one of them.
I think it's probably the eye that's on his middle of his cheek. That's the one that seems like it has the.
It's kind of like my little squinty eye is the best eye. I get that.
Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The2dumyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. You know, it's over there. We got mine and Ryan's, all of our social media or emails over there. If you any comments, questions, anything like that, don't be afraid to shoot them over. Be sure to follow our social media links. Remember, over here at the website now, we got stuff from me, we got stuff from Chop, we got some stuff from RB. Every Monday, Mock Draft Monday. I know that's Steeler Freak's favorite because this is his favorite time of the year. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
A lot of cool things, guys. Go check it out. Mike, about a month ago, basically went in and redid the whole website. I think it looks great now. Again, his mock drafts on Monday, the articles from the guys, Chop and RB, a lot of good stuff over at the website. Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. I want to also, Mike, there's been a couple situations over the past month or so where people was having trouble with the email, or with the email address.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because we spelled out 2. Is that the difference? There's in the email and everything else, everything actually has the number 2, but the email actually has the word 2 spelled out.
Yeah, because I made the email before we named the show.
Okay, that's
that's why. Yeah.
But the point being is there's been multiple times over the past month that people tried to get a hold of us, and they said the email just doesn't work. And I think what's happening is they're assuming that it's the number 2.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Maybe we'll have to run something through the course of the show on a banner or something for a while. But at the end of the day, that's what it looks like. Mike did put the email address right at the top of the board there, guys. 2dumyinzers@gmail. It's a TWO. And I think maybe people get confused as well because the website is the 2dumyinzers. So just double check that if you were going to send anything via email, guys. We do apologize for the confusion, but I'm thinking that's probably what it is, just because of that little change. The email address is 2TWO@gmail. So just double check that, guys. I'm thinking that is the problem. So if we have any more problems, continue to with the feedback. We appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much. We'll work on that to get that back to where it needs to be. Mike, it's time to get into some trivia. Today's trivia is going to have something to do with somebody that, well, let's just say the newest member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The newest member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Put on your thinking cap. Everybody at home, do the same. Here we go. This is the question of the day. Let's check it out. Sebastian Joseph Day, his jersey number is 69. Who was the last Steeler to wear the number 69 in a regular season game? Our newest addition, guys, defensive lineman Sebastian Joseph Day chose number 69 as his jersey number. Who was the last Steeler to wear number 69 in a regular season game? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the tube. Right out the cut, Ty is saying Kevin Dotson. Kevin Dotson is his pick. Again, the question of the day is this. Sebastian Joseph Day chose number 69 with the Steelers. Who was the last Steeler to wear number 69 in a regular season game? Kevin Dotson. Steel Loyal says Kevin Dotson's the last one I remember. Short Arms, John, Tortilla, Rashard Mendenhall. He's been the answer to every question over the past week, I think, for Tortilla.
One day, Tortilla will be right.
One day you'll be right. Let's see, Mark Malone. He says, Christophus, we all see what food did to Becky. Yeah, I don't know if I want any of that Florida food. Let's go. Richard says Vanilla Thunder. Vanilla Thunder. It's true. He did wear number 69. But Christophus did say this, just it was with the last one that I mentioned refers to. Christophus says, here in Miami Beach, we have awesome food, vegan, plant-based, or conventional. I imagine that you do. I would love to be in South Florida. But Mike, I went to bed. It was 70 degrees. I woke up. There was 4 inches of snow.
Yeah.
It's truly incredible what's going on with this weather.
I almost put my ice scraper away. I'm glad I did not, because I got in my car the other day and it was frozen solid. I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm gonna find that fucking groundhog and punt him.
Tortilla says Becca's gonna be in Fortnite. Steel Loyal says nothing beats burger. Nothing beats a good homemade smash burger. I think Mike is trying to get us back up. There we go. Christophus says Levon Kirkland. Levon Kirkland is Christophus's guest. Again, guys, throw your guesses up there if you know it. If you don't know it, just throw a guess up. Let's see if we could get it. Question one more time. Question of the day about the newest Pittsburgh Steeler. The newest Pittsburgh Steeler, Mike. Sebastian Joseph Day picks number 69 as his number for the Steelers. Who was the last Steeler to wear number 69 in a regular season game? For the Steelers, guys, is the question today. We'll give you just another second. Vegas says 4 inches of snow. Who are you, Tony Montana? Guys, Scarface. Throw it up there if you guys think you got it. We'll just give you another few seconds. Question of the day. Who was the last Steeler to wear number 69 in a game?
Nice.
Cody, what's up, brother, man? It's all good. He says, damn, missed the whole pod. Shake my head. It's always great to see Cody. Better late than never. Let's get to the answer to the question, guys. Here we go. Question of the day. Here is the answer. Driscoll Tortilla is saying. Also, let's get to the answer. Sebastian Joseph Day, the newest Steeler. He picked number 69 as his jersey number here in Pittsburgh. Mike, who was the last Steeler to wear 69 in a regular season game? Mike, what is your thought process?
I'm going to go with Kevin Dotson. I remember
Seems like a safe bet, right?
Yeah. He's the last one I remember of any consequence wearing that number. So that's who I'm going with.
That seems very smart. That's your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, I'm locking you in on Kevin Dotson. Steel Loyal says it's either Dotson or a random practice squad guy that played one game. LOL. Ty says, boo, Cody stinks. Bill Cosby, Cody's guess, of course. Guys, question of the day. Mike had said Kevin Dotson. One more time, the question is this. Sebastian Joseph Day selected number 69. Who was the last Steeler to wear number 69 in a game? For the Steelers, guys, Mike says Kevin Dotson. A few different answers on the board. Some silly answers on the board as well. Nonetheless, guys, the answer to the question is not Robin Williams, as Cody is saying. It is Kevin Dotson. Kevin Dotson was the last one, guys. He wore it from 2020 till he was traded ahead of the 2023 season. Kevin Dotson did wear number 69 at guard. So there you go. Good job, Mike. Great job, everybody. Even Cody. He's got that E for effort. We'll give him that. Let's see, man. We overthought. Yeah, I really did. That's just one of them ones. And that's why I do try to throw the tricky ones in there, just because sometimes it kind of keeps you on your toes and you don't know which ones are the tricky ones and which ones don't need overthought. But appreciate that, Steel Loyal. He says, I was overthinking the F out of that. Guys, a few things before we do get ready to wrap things up for the day. Mike, this is the middle of the week. We were just 36 days away. 36 days away from the NFL draft here in Pittsburgh. 36 days away. When it was 45, it was one thing. When it was 50, it was another. When it was 100, Mike, 36 days from the NFL draft. What do you got to say about that?
It's getting closer, but my biggest fear is that it's going to feel like a crawl to the finish line. Hopefully, it keeps moving, man, the way the offseason has already. I can't wait for it to be here, man. I just love when we bring in new talent, try and figure out where they're going to fit in, who they're going to overtake, can they make the team? Because this draft's going to be a fun one too. We have some needs, and we can just about go anywhere in the first round. I can't wait to see what happens, and then the draft here in Pittsburgh, baby, it's going to be exciting.
Christopher said 58 degrees. I mean, that's not great, but to be honest,
better than the 30 I'm looking at right now.
But yeah, like I said, just 2 days ago it was 70, and it's supposed to be 69, I think, tomorrow, but it dropped, and then it's going to go up, and then it's going to drop, and
just get all sick and nasty.
A couple things, Mike, before we do get ready to wrap things up. The Pirates back at it today. They have a 6-5 start against the Tigers. Pirates are 16-9 with just 6 games left in the in the spring training. Like they will be kicking off against the Mets in about another week or so. Penguins also back in action. They're down in Carolina. That's a 7:00 start. The Penguins bring in their 34-18-15 records with only 15 games. Like 15 games left in their season as they are getting ready. They're closing in on the season, but not only that, Mike, they're only 7 points behind the first place Carolina Hurricanes, who they are playing tonight. Second place, the Penguins are 7 points back. 15 games left. So again, a win tonight over Carolina could be a nice beginning to the last couple weeks of hockey. Maybe for the Penguins could gain a little bit of ground before we start the playoffs.
Yeah, and it looks like Sid's back tonight, so huge boost to the lineup right there. And the boys have been playing pretty well. And you get him back, they should be going ready to rock and roll.
And finally, Mike, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, their U.S. Open game. U.S. Open Cup first round match was postponed. Remember I said they had a game yesterday between them and Steel City, postponed due to wintry conditions. So we'll keep our ear on that. What's going on with the Hounds? Is hopefully they could get into have another successful season as well, Mike. We could do a 4-legger. If all 4 of our teams could make us happy this year, that would be just fine with me.
That'd be awesome too, because if all 4 make it out of the first round, you're shaving not only your head, your beard, but your eyebrows.
And I'm putting it on your hair and on top of your head. If everything,
all 4 teams have to do it.
But everything is a different layer. If the Penguins do it, I'll shave my head. If the Pirates win a playoff round, I shave my beard. If the Steelers do it, I'll shave my eyebrows. And if the Riverhounds do it to make the quadrecta, Mike, I am shaving my pubes. And all 4 are getting glued to the top of Mike's head right here on the show. That's the deal. If it goes down and all 4 teams get out of the first round, and luckily it played out too. I was able to squeeze the pubes part in there because he's talking to his child, and he may not know that. And again, the pubes may be a big surprise when it happens. But yes, if all 4 teams do win, all the hair is coming off, and it's all getting glued right on top of that head, right there. I can't wait just as much as the next guy.
I caught that one. I caught the one that you tried to sneak in there. You little. I can't say the word I want to say, but no, good try. A for effort, man. I respect the hustle.
Super gluing it all right on top of his head. Steel Loyal says Ronald. Let's see that the guy's finishing up there. Let me see. Randy says this. Where's your post going to be? You know what? It's looking like Gold Lot 2. As of right now, we'll certainly make it more. We'll get more information out as we get closer, guys. 36 days away, but as of right now, from what I'm understanding, it's going to be Gold Lot 2, but that could change, and I will certainly let you know. But as of right now, Gold Lot 2 be the location. So we'll certainly again keep you more updated as time comes. Christopher says my Florida Panthers win championships, and we don't, bro. You know what? That Florida Panthers team, and listen, I respect them. But, Mike, it all started with us. If it wasn't for the Penguins losing
Yeah.
what was it, 3 games at the end of the year
Yeah, we
to
lost
be
3 games.
eliminated from the playoffs and allow the Panthers to get in,
Yep.
which was the first year that the Panthers won the cup. And the Panthers haven't lost yet. They've been winning and winning ever since. So they should be thanking us. They should be on their hands and knees thanking the Penguins, Mike, again.
Exactly.
And every year that they did, the Penguins did not qualify for the playoffs. So it was easily the Penguins' fault. And they should maybe get their names on the cup as well.
I think so. An honorary row.
Let's go. Yes, Randy, absolutely. And again, we will keep you updated if that does change. Any more details as of right now, Gold Lot 2. I do want to say a few things, guys. This is there's going to be a lot of it. As a matter of fact, out of the draft, if you get thirsty, stop at Giant Eagle and get yourself either a 6-pack or 12-pack of Duquesne Pilsner, guys. It's now available at the Eagle and also wherever cases are sold as well. Guys, you can stop and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. The guys over there, Mike, always do good by us with promotion, and we couldn't thank them enough. So we, in turn, just try to spread the news. Maybe if you're not a drinker, stop over, check out their social media, hit the follow button, show them a little bit of love. It all helps out, guys. Again, Duquesne Pilsner, which we always have on tap right here in the studio for special occasions, games, things of that nature. Mike, love it. Delicious beer. Duquesne Pilsner, made right here in Pittsburgh. And as it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Let's see. Christmas says, when was the last time the Penguins beat my Panthers? I don't know.
It's probably been a while.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. But again, kudos to them. I'm happy for them. When they're in it, I usually root for them. Just because I just do. I don't know why. But I always against who had Edmonton the 2 years in a row. I wanted Florida to win both of them. And again, the first time around, I have no reason not to like the Panthers. Let's also say a couple other things, Mike, before we do get ready to take off for the day. Gang, my man Jamal, as always, sir, Texas. Love hearing from Jamal. Mike, just give me a little bit of your assessment, a little bit of what we talked about today. We got into just some of the new details on Sebastian Day, also on Brisker, Dowdle, those contracts. A few other things, Mike. Beanie Bishop. What's your overall thoughts of today's show?
I like the contracts that were signed. Like, we still have a shit ton of cap space left because of the way those deals were structured. Still sitting close to $30 million in cap space. So maybe one more key free agent side. Maybe they do address the guard situation to free up that first round even more. And you figure a lot of that money that's left over now probably won't be spent outside of maybe one or two free agent signings. A lot of that money is going to go to re-signing or extending some of the guys who are coming up on their contracts. So I like that right there. Denzel Boston coming in for a visit. I don't want him in the first round. The more you watch him, the more you fall out of love with him. But I'm not surprised the Steelers are taking a look at him. He fits the Mike McCarthy mold of receivers, big, tall kind of guy. And let's go Pens. Let's go beat the Panthers. Cody, the reason I can't say what I want to say is a little kid walked in here, so I can't say all the mean words to Rye that I want to say right now.
Yes, he can. I hear you. I hear you cussing all the time around your children.
I don't. I'm a saint around my child.
Get the fuck out of here. Just tell me what it is you want to say. I
forget what I was going to call you. Like a sneaky fucking rat bastard.
Wait, who? Me?
Yeah, when you tried to sneak in the pube thing.
Oh. Okay. All right. I maybe deserve that. 92. Cody. John is saying 90 degrees in Vegas. Let me move back up here again, guys. All right, let me start by saying this. I do want to say, I really feel that's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing. I usually don't do happy birthdays, just a special one every now and then, but just Mike, a good friend of ours and a guest of the show, of course, Garrett Webster. All respect for his pops, Iron Mike Webster. Mike, his birthday is today, so I do want to give a happy birthday out to the big guy in heaven, Mike Webster. Of course, his son Garrett on the show not that long ago, actually. Happy birthday to Iron Mike. And there it is. Mike also still loyal is saying Thunder the Tatman. Thunder the Tatman. There it is. And pull that picture up one more time. I know you have it handy. That one that's in the circle that you put up as the show's getting ready to start. There it is.
Sexy beast.
And the reason I like this is because I know that Mike, I think he likes the fact that I think people think that that's actually him sometimes
No,
when
I
they see the
don't, no.
picture. Yes, you do.
If anyone thinks that is me, they are.
Well, it literally looks exactly like you with and you always have long sleeve shirts on. So how would it be that much of a surprise if they thought that was you? Moving on. I do also want to say these few other things before we do get ready to wrap it up and go. I do want to say, if you haven't had a chance, go check our social media out, guys. You can keep up with what the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. You could follow us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. You can keep up with what the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below, guys. Hit the like, the sub, the share, comment, any of that kind of stuff helps the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much. See, Thunder Roll, Jamal. I thought it was you, Vanessa. See, Jamal literally thought that was you.
I am that jacked.
Just a second ago, I was like, nobody thinks it's me.
This is now I'm jacked, boys.
Steel Loy laughed my ass off. That is Thunder. What do you mean? Finally, I want to say this, guys. I want to say thank you so much for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board, guys. You always keep the show interesting. It's no question about it. It's a no-brainer. The board, Mike, is such a big part of the show, and they are the lifeblood of the show. I always say that. I always mean that. Thank you so much to everybody on the board and everybody that's at home. Maybe you're listening, maybe you're watching, maybe you're at your job, maybe you're in the bathroom at work watching, in the stall, in the gym, wherever the case may be. Thank everybody for being with us today. Mike is going to fix me here in 1 second. There we go. I do want to say thank you to everybody for being here with us today. We appreciate each and every one so much. Mike, finish up with the statement, and we are going to get humping. I guess people would say older people would say back in the day. Let's get humping.
Let's get humping. King Thunder. I like that one, Cody. Randy, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Christopher, you didn't make me feel bad about hockey. I saw my team win 5 Stanley Cups. I can never get too down. Never get too down on my Pens.
Now they're catching up to us. I can tell you
they are catching up to us, man. I used to hate the Panthers because they played the trap and they had those stupid rats and they made hockey boring. But now they're playing an exciting brand of hockey, so I'm kind of they're coming back into my good graces.
Randy says this. He says, "Thank you to Mike and Ryan for lighting our Steelers excitement fire. Way to bring it back. We appreciate you, man. We try to keep it going all year round. Yeah. We know that people love the Steelers the way that we love the Steelers, and we're just trying to make sure the voice of Steeler Nation is always heard. That is our priority, guys. Also on the board, let me grab a couple more things. Randy did follow up by also saying this, Mike. He says, have a fantastic day, everyone. March Madness starts tomorrow. That's right. We'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow as they do kick it off, Mike. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're going to have two rounds eliminated by the end of the weekend. March Madness, if you blink, it's gone. We'll get into that a little bit more in the morning. Talk about some of the matchups as the schools will be pulling in all the TVs. I don't know if they do it the way that we used to. They used to wheel the TVs in on March Madness. Now schools are different with computers, monitors hanging everywhere. A little different, but back when I was in school, Mike, you always seen kids pushing that rack with them TVs down the hall, trying to make sure they didn't miss any basketball come March Madness.
Oh yeah, it was always the best time because you knew what classes you can just do whatever you wanted to, and those were the best ones.
It was always a guy teacher that
didn't want to be there to begin with,
right?
Yeah.
Steel says Steel Lewis says I'm gonna have all 3 TVs going. Thunder Duke, Thunder Plunder, a couple names on the board. I do think that's everything, Mike. Anything I'm forgetting before we roll?
No, man. I think we got it all, man.
All right. I do want to say thank you so much to everybody. Again, you guys are awesome. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again for the Thursday installment of the Two Dum Yinzers. Again, Mike, today was, in fact,
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
It's hump day, and again, Mike, it just if you didn't do the air humping, I may not continue to do that that sound effect, but since you do, you know what, it's staying. There's nothing that's going to make me change that, but we will be back tomorrow at our regular time, guys. I hope to see everybody then. I think that is everything for now. Penguins tonight, the Pirates this evening, NCAA basketball tomorrow kicks off for the March Madness. We'll be back to talk about all that and so much more tomorrow. Mike, one more time, I'm going to come to you. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Once again, have a great day. Have a great hump day. Stay safe. Have a good one. Here we go, Steelers. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye-bye.